Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 218 of Beer and Other Shit, the podcast Adjunct series. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a banger tonight. This is a long-awaited follow-up pod from the first one about a year ago, and this is a brewery that has that made our top 10 in Quebec for 2024 after only being open would have been 4 months by the end of the year. That's how impressive they were at the time for us, and they've only continued that through the last year, and now gone from essentially working or sharing a tap room to now having their own space, expanding both the team, everything about the brewery, the brand. It's just killing it, and I'm super excited to get into that other part of the story and to see what's going on with these guys, because whenever I get my hands on them this year, I think I've had a little bit, but I'm keen as fuck, man. I'm excited as hell. Let's get this going. So, ladies and gentlemen, hang on, make sure I get this right. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. That's the right one. Please welcome Uncle Zack and Ryan of Bad Bones in the building. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Wait. There it is.
Thanks for having us.
Boys, I had y'all in the opposite order, but it's all good. Fellas, how you doing? Thank you for hanging out.
Doing well. Thanks for having us, man.
Good.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's like I said, I think was it last November or October? Do you remember, Zack?
Good question. No,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
I'm just double checking. Here we go. December looks like it came out. So even later. So it's so it must have been later in November come out then. So look, it's been about a year since the last time we chatted. I imagine an extreme amount of things have changed in that time. So let's get started, shall we? We have a killer lineup, but we're going to kick back into this bad boy right here, which is this one of the first beers that you've redone?
This would be the third that we've redone.
The third. Okay, amazing. And this is Pelvis Double IPA, 8.2 with Citra and Nectar on. That is a bang. Did anything change with the recipe at all from last year's batch to this one?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The first batch we were doing, we had a little bit of Golden Promise in there. Our Pilsner was Wireman malt, which we recently switched to Best Malts.
Okay.
And then I think, pretty much all of the adjuncts was very, very expensive over the top stuff. And we slowly just made it make a little more sense.
Okay. That makes sense. Is the hop, I guess, was it the same lot or a different batch? Different
lot. The first was Citra that was from Dunham's contract.
Okay.
Now it's our own Citra.
Beautiful. And
the Nectaron is, I think, a different lot. Same. It's not Freestyle Nectaron for this one. It's NZ hops.
NZ hops. Okay, so a few small changes, but essentially the same beer.
Yeah, minute changes. I guess the Golden Promise is probably like the biggest change in it. Oh yeah, and the yeast is different too. Sorry, so no, there's quite a few differences. The yeast I was using, I think for all the beers that you tried the last time we were on this podcast, was all from BSI, which I think is out in Denver, and the customs was crazy. Custom peas were just like insane, super heavy. And after like a pretty long conversation with Guillaume from Le Catch, I ended up switching to the yeast that they were using, which I way prefer. It actually gives me like almost like a bit of a candied grape thing, almost like a purple drink.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Not
exactly
the peach. You have two options at your depth. You got the peach one, and then you got the purple one. It tastes like more like the purple one, which I find very unique. I don't get that in many other beers, and so I've really kind of hung on to that. We actually stress our fermentation out quite a bit to try and accentuate that flavor.
Gotcha. Okay, that's awesome, man. Well, let's get into it, boys. Welcome.
Yeah.
Happy to be doing this. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Nose is massive. Hell yeah. When was this canned? Does it taste fresh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one was
Oof, yes.
our last release. So
Like last week?
10 days ago?
a week. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was probably canned about a week and a half. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
super fresh. This is massive. This is punchy. I guess it was a year ago. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, this is exactly the body. Like, if you didn't tell me that all of those different things had changed, as far as like, it's all like minor tweaks from the yeast and the malt and even just those hop lots. It's like it's still like I would taste this, but oh, this is a bad Bose beer. It still retains that signature thing that you guys do. What would how is can you speak to that? Like, how does, if you change all of those different things, but we're drinking this and I'm like, oh, this is absolutely what, if you had told me, you hadn't have said that, I would have thought it was the same batch or the same stuff. What about all these different things allows you to maintain that sort of consistency and that kind of like signature like flavor notes?
Yeah. Well, I guess when it comes down to it, the principle of the beer stays the same, if that makes sense. So maybe details around it might change a little bit, but in general, the idea of the beer stays the exact same. The water profile is the exact same. Um, One of the perks of RO water again is just stays pretty much always constant, and you can keep it that way. And in general, it's all about checking off the boxes for what we want as a beer, and that's the most important part. Everything else around it is just more about trying to tweak it to make it better, trying to make sure that it stays how we want it, but the core principle of the beer stays the same, and that's I think what we strive for.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense actually. Particularly, like, I guess the water is probably that. It's like body that's just insane, and that RO is. I got an espresso machine recently, so I've had to buy RO water, and then you get these little third wave packets, and you add that shit in. So I have to like make the water where you get this big fucking 18-liter jug, and you got to like pour it into a smaller one that's like a gallon. Yeah, it's I get it more because I'm like, oh, okay. And someone told me, like, if you just drink RO water, it's really bad for you because it's got nothing in it. So you need
Yeah,
those minerals.
that's a hot take a bit, because
Okay.
like you do get those minerals elsewhere in your diet. Like, I think if you're on an island and for some reason the only thing on that island is a very wasteful functional RO machine, I think that if you just drank that, yeah, you'd probably die. But I think you get those minerals elsewhere. So
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, that could go either way. But I had
Okay.
that same conversation with the guy who installed it.
He was like, don't
Because
drink too
like
much of it.
he was like he was installing it, and he was like I was like, oh, are you thirsty, man? Like, do you want some water? You want something to drink? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I like went to go grab it right from the CLT, and he was like, oh no, I don't want that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, you just installed this fancy RO system that's like pouring out the most incredible water I've ever tasted, and you don't want to drink it? And he's like, oh no, but apparently there could be, like, if you drink too much of it. And I was like, okay, well, and then we got into the conversation about it, and yeah,
Interesting.
it can
Okay,
go
so
either
that
way.
it's a thing. I was also told that instead of those third wave packets, which is just, it says what it's in, it's like magnesium, some shit, I forget. But someone, I think it was Troy from Badlands, he was just like, just put some salt in, like the same amount of salt, and it kind of does the trick. And I was like, okay, so even then, if you just got RO water and then put a teaspoon of salt in a gallon or something, it's probably
Yes, that's
gives
what
it
we do
what
with
it
our beer,
needs.
right?
Oh,
Is
okay.
we add all our salts afterwards, right?
Right.
It's not like actual salt, but it's brewing salts, and we add that afterwards. Um,
Okay. Which
yeah,
is
but I
perfect.
stand by
Just to have,
the pure stuff's still really good. I still drink it all the time. I don't care.
hell
Delicious.
yeah. And you're doing fine. Health is going good.
I think.
I think so. You're sparkling. This beer is awesome, boys. This is like super creamy and peachy. I feel like it's just so punchy. It's got a bit of like dank citrus, which is kind of what I expect from a lot of the stuff that you do. It drinks so smooth for 8.2. Spectacular. This is
Appreciate it.
amazing. Are you guys really? Are you being that now you've done 3 of them? Because it's interesting, I think, to talk about ones that you've done now for the second, third time, whatever, or second time, sorry, in 3 different SKUs. Because you're finding your feet, and you guys are in the world of the hype brewery where haze, whatever brewery that where people do expect something new every week, and I think it's super cool that you did that for a year and change, I guess. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
then started bringing stuff back, and then you're able to, like, all right, time for this bad boy, let's tweak him a little bit. And how was that process for you guys, as far as like taking these other recipes from last year and being like, all right, let's give these another
Well,
try, and like tweak them a bit.
yeah, that's it. The first time we redid a recipe, Ryan wasn't here yet, but it was our first year anniversary.
Okay.
We went the entire year only doing new beers, at least 2
Amazing.
beers a week.
Jesus.
And yeah, it was definitely
That's
a
a lot.
lot. And at first, people, I think, were hesitant when we first re-released the beer. They were like, I don't know, like I'm not really sure, like how, like, especially when we were talking about, like, to our stores, to stores that we ship our beer out to. They were like, I'm not sure what the geeks are gonna really think about this. They always like new. They're always asking about new. And then I think quickly people kind of realized that, like, we're so small that majority of the craft beer drinker hasn't drank our beer, and the ones that are still Bad Bones fans, they're not able to get their hands on it all that often. So it's still a new beer to them as well. For the most part, it's a pretty small fraction of people that have tried batch one, um, or of most of our beers. So that kind of still gives it that kind of new product feeling anyways, especially when it's in a sea of new products. We haven't done a release where it's just only like redos.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the concept stays the same though. It's none of the beers that we do, like, we're not trying to break the mold or anything, right? Like, our goal, especially in this current economy and the way that craft beer is at the moment, we really want to make sure that when someone gets their hands on our cans, it's not that it's the most experimental thing that's gonna, like, be like, what the hell am I drinking? It's gonna be dependable Bad Bones. Like, it has that same thing. It checks all the boxes, and they've spent their hard-earned money on something that they know is gonna be good.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I love that, and I agree. I think it's not the worst thing in the world, and I think people originally, I feel like when Hayes was really like picking up, and you were the same as me. We were both chasing all this shit, and then you see brewers like Treehouse or whatever, and they're doing the same thing. People are still going back and buying cases and cases of whatever, green and haze and all that stuff. So it's I feel like people sort of slowly got used to it, and then it's like it's kind of cool to taste the next batch, because it's like, oh, let's see what changed, even if it was a year ago. And on that, would you do, how some breweries do, like, it'd be like Pelvis 2025 as opposed to 2024? Have you thought about like numbering it like that, like with year, or is it really not that serious?
I guess it would depend on, like how big of a difference the beer is, especially like if it's tasting noticeably different, then yeah, I probably would.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
like, I think this beer is a pretty decent example of how, like, obviously we don't have a back to back, a side by side of
Of
them, but
course. Yeah, and it's, even
it's
if you did,
pretty
it wouldn't
pretty
be fair.
similar from my memory, anyways. Yeah. So I think it doesn't necessarily merit a whole new title or something like that. I think it fits the original recipe, and yeah.
It works for that. That's cool. I was checking on Untapped. I wasn't sure if you did, just because I was like, oh, sick. This was, I did see the anniversary one, but I was like, oh, which was the anniversary one you did again for the second time around?
Tibia,
Tibia.
first
Okay.
first ever recipe.
So that was the one we had on, I think, on that first. Did we have that on the first pod? No, we mustn't have. We couldn't
No,
have, because it would
no,
have been
no,
no.
no, no. We were
Fibia we had.
yeah, that was like a lifetime of years ago.
I know, yeah, right. I could double check. I was just like
I
curious.
don't remember. We had
Which one?
Coma.
I actually have. I write
had
it in the
Bedridden?
description. Yep. We had coma, clavicle, jaws of life, bedridden, and pelvis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's.
Oh,
so,
okay. No kidding. So we had Pelvis.
Yep.
This is your second. Okay, cool.
Which is why I brought it up.
Right
Yeah,
on.
because it was like I was like, as soon as I saw it I was like, oh, sick. Okay, bringing it back. And I did notice. Do you know what? Maybe because I was confused. Did I say no? Was I lying about fibia? No, it's not even called fibia. What the fuck is that other that bone called? It's
Femur.
like
Femur.
femur. You always get them shits confused.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking one of these
A lot
other
of
ones.
bones.
Yeah, so many bones, so many ones that are bad.
A lot of broken ones.
Or broken. Yeah, I think it's dope to bring them back. I think people kind of like it. Like so many breweries that you're in the newer phase because you're only a year and a bit old, but a lot of them do it. Most of them do it because you can't keep coming up with infinity new recipes. So it's like, I could bring this brand back. And you're like, oh shit, this new batch is fire. And I think people start to like, oh, I missed that one last year. I couldn't get out. So like you said, I think it's dope. And the fact that you're able to push it, you guys were able to do it for a full year is very, very dope. I love it. This beer is spectacular. This is basically what I remember anyway. I love it. It's super bold. I love it. Do you guys mind if I switch you guys around? I feel like, Ryan, you had the widescreen that looked good on the bottom, and Zach, yours was more for the top, and I meant to put it how we had it off air, and I don't know why I didn't do it. Give it 1 sec.
No
All right,
worries.
beautiful. Was going to do that there. There we go. I just feel like it was like, you got the nice wide background, Ryan. I just like it, and Zach, yours was more like for that, and your head was taking up too much space. I was like, all right.
I want to see more Zach anyway. That's great.
You just want that big Zach. So,
Hi, Zach.
I love it. So maybe what we'll do, we're going to get into what's been happening in the last year. And obviously there's been a lot going on. Let's get your story, Ryan. So we have it on here. Obviously you've been at Bad Bones for the last 4 weeks. We were just saying off air, which is amazing.
Pretty much.
Brand spanking new, but you are not new to the game. Do you want to give us a history of how you got into beer and how, and your sort of your career in beer up until Bad Bones?
Sure. Yeah. Well, like most brewers, I guess I started as a home brewer. I fell in love with beer really when I was traveling in Europe. I was sort of bouncing around. I lived in London for a while, and then out in Wiltshire, which is near sort of Bath, in England. And we live in this old country pub, and the publican there had like a really sick array of cask ale. I'd never really seen anything like it, and it was really kind of. I never, to me, beer was just Heineken or, just kind of macro or European lagers or anything like that. And so I sort of started falling down the rabbit hole after that. Started homebrewing more and more when I moved to Canada, which is about 10, 11 years ago now. I was just homebrewing all the time, getting super obsessed with it. And at some point, I was just kind of like, somebody is doing this professionally. I don't know who these people are, but how do I become one of them? So I sort of talked to a bunch of breweries to see if I could volunteer anywhere. Nobody was real keen. So I ended up doing the brewmaster program in Niagara College. And that was for a couple of years or a little less than a couple of years. And then back to Montreal. I was running a little contract brewery in Griffintown in Montreal called BAOS. It doesn't exist anymore, RIP.
Okay.
And we're doing a few of our own beers. We're doing contracting for a few little brew pubs and stuff like that, or places that wanted a little bit extra volume. And one of those places was BreWskey, which is where I first met Derrick and I first met Zach. I think Zach, you were probably working at the pub at the time, eh?
Yep.
I
was a waiter at the pub.
Yeah. I got to know those guys really well, and then it wasn't going great for our brewery, our little contract brewery. And
what was the code again, bro? Sorry.
Yeah, BAOS. It was tiny. Yeah, it was like a little 5-barrel system with double 10-barrel fermenters.
Right.
But I was pretty much on my own. I was head brewer, but I was the only brewer. I was doing everything.
Right.
All the kind of everything from recipes all the way through to packaging, and kind of what Zach's been doing for last year. And I was in way over my head at the beginning. I was fresh out of school. I had no idea really what I was doing. So I was just one of those things like, yeah, can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. I was like, fuck, how do I do that? You know, yeah, so I got to know the BreWskey guys really well. And when they opened their own brewery, I jumped ship, and then it was just kind of me and Zack in the brewery for the first year, really, at BreWskey. It was me, Zack, and Derrick.
Nice.
The only like brewers there for for the first year or so. That was still pretty small. COVID was going on. It was pretty weird time, but it was so Zack and I got to know each other very well, intimately, I would say. A lot of weird times in the cellar.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, I don't know, I was there for 4 years, something like that. And I got contacted by the guys who were looking to start Wills. Yeah, there's just kind of a lot of really interesting things about that project that I felt like I couldn't really turn down. So I, nothing against the BreWskey guys. It was just a great experience there, and I still love those guys. Learned a hell of a lot. A lot of beers, a lot of crazy beers. And then, so I was at Wills, the head brewer there for about 3 years, and 3.5 years, something like that. And then just recently moved to the townships and coming to give Zack a hand at Bad Bones, because he's been up to here for a year, and slowly drowning, I guess. And yeah, very, very, very stoked to be there, man. Really cool. It's been great so far. It's awesome to work with Zack again, and yeah, lots of fun, exciting things ahead, I think.
That's sick, man. Thank you.
Very modest of you.
Do you want to elaborate?
Guy's got way more experience than me, and he's coming to give me a hand. He's making our beer better every day.
Just helping out,
He's just modest.
I love it. Typical. And people who couldn't tell, so Ryan, you and I are originally neighbors. From,
I guess so.
Which is a beautiful thing, because there's not many Aussies or Kiwis in beer that I get to sort of talk to. And I had heard about you from Alex at Wills. He was stoked, and I had a bunch of your IPAs out there and the beers that you were doing, and it was spectacular stuff.
Thanks, man.
I didn't know that you guys all worked together back then, because I guess, Zack, we met through, I guess, the like we spoke about in the first one, the content you were doing, and then you were I remember, like, I saw you there a couple of times at BreWskey. When you're doing that, and then I guess you moved into production, and you guys work together. That's sick. That's even cooler. I had no idea, man.
Yeah. It was just the three of us, especially during COVID, because it was like there was no one else there. Like there was just like all the restaurants were closed, so we had that big building, the brewery, and it was kind of just like me, Zack, and Derrick in the building, plus like Guillaume and Kay and stuff like that. But just for production, it was just mainly me and Zack doing all the cellaring and doing all the brewing, and
we put that brewery together.
Together.
When we were waiting for the equipment, they still kept us on board, so that we were staining the terrace tables. We were just trying to find ways to bide time until we got our equipment in.
Hell of a stain. Really, really quality work.
Yeah.
It's holding up even to this day. Yeah, I remember when you guys were getting that in. That was around like fall 2019, I believe, when it finally came. Is that right, or was that during? Actually, the equipment came during COVID.
No, it was before COVID.
I know
it was before COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
It was because I think BreWskey got the equipment right after Meso opened, if I'm not mistaken, because I always confuse the dates.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Meso opened like July 2019, and then you guys got it like September, October, or something like that.
I can't remember. We were pretty close. Do you remember, Zack?
I want to say that it was before.
Yeah, I thought it was
before Mesorm opened, because I remember. I think it was. I don't know if you know Lewis. That one of the dudes came. Yeah, he came in and he was saying, "Oh, you guys got to try this new brewery, Mesorm. It's the Trillium of Montreal," he was saying. Okay. We're like, "Oh shit, okay, we gotta try this." So yeah, I think we were open. I think the brewery was
together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah. So I probably got that mixed up. Okay, dope. So that was I guess that would have been a strange time, but then being that it's kind of a perfect way for you both to learn together, and it makes even more sense working together now that you've got that sort of similar just like experience. You're from the same place. You came up under, like, Derrick is a scientific fucking genius. So like coming up under a dude like that who's able to, I imagine, was that something that you guys like, did that help a lot for you both, like to work together now, like doing your own thing? And obviously you'd gone off and done your own thing, Ryan, but like did that sort of like, is that even fair to say, was Derrick kind of let the dude who was kind of mentoring you both in the world that we're talking about, like haze, smoothies, stouts, all the fun stuff?
Definitely fair to say, man. For me,
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah. Like Dr. Derrick, you know, yeah, the hurricane.
Why is he the hurricane?
Hurricane Derrick. It was a crazy place to work, man. Like I'm sure it still is. It's just like this so many tanks, so many different beers, so many different styles, so many like really high maintenance beers, you know, like stuff that needs tweaking all the time, super experimental. So like you learn a crazy amount in a pretty short time, I would say. Just always like adjusting on the fly. And Derrick was just like, you know, the conductor of the symphony in there, just coming in there and
yeah. We'd call him Hurricane Derrick because we'd like clean up the whole place right before we'd leave. And then we'd come in the next day and he'd be doing all the tests. I took 6 grams per liter of HBC something into that, and I added vanilla into that, and he's like the scientist, you know. He's just
scientist.
And the whole place would just be like tests everywhere. And we'd be like, oh, Hurricane Derrick came into town.
That's amazing.
Smell fantastic though. Yeah.
That's
great way to learn, though. Great way to learn. Absolutely.
Do you guys?
A lot of reps, man.
He's a walking encyclopedia.
Oh yeah, he's insane. Like the biochemist side of things. I guess yeah. So did he sort of like, for both of you, he set the tone for then going forward, like working together now? Like how has that been for you guys? And once again, I know it's only been a month, but like, has that been like an immediate, because like you went through so much together for years at BreWskey, is it just immediate click? Like I imagine also, Ryan, you were drinking the Bad Bones beers over the last year and a bit, so you already knew what Zack was getting into. Obviously, if he was going to start a brewery, you know he was going to do this stuff. Was it like a real easy sort of like, you guys, it's just like no time has passed type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, and you know, we're really good friends too, so that helps too. That makes it easy. We spent so much time together, so much time working together. So I was very confident that, you know, that we could make it work. Like it was going to be pretty smooth and pretty seamless because we've done it so much already. Like I guess that was a little while ago, and the dynamics shifted a little bit because, you know, it's Zack's brewery, and so it's not just a co-worker situation. It's like an employer-employee situation a little bit. But that's has, you know, absolutely super smooth, super chill. It's you know, some of the funnest times I've had was just working in that cellar with Zack, just talking heaps of shit and making beer, and yeah. So like I was super excited to do it again, and it's been just what I hoped it would be, honestly.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. I can imagine. I was gonna say I lost it. So then, okay, so on the other side of it, being that right now, Bad Bones has done, is it like, I saw like today, I think you dropped a Westie. Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You had done other styles. My friend who you met, Zach Schuyler, came through and he got me a bottle of the, I think was it a barley wine stout blend? Is that something like that?
Yeah, it's a black wine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So he left it in Vermont, so I didn't get it in the end. I was like, "Fuck!" So he must have just forgot it in the hotel room. But all that to say that, like, the styles that you've done essentially over the last year had been essentially, it sounds fair to say that exclusively New England IPAs or extra hoppy ales. I'm sorry. And then now you did the black wine, you did the Westie. Have you guys, because you did so many different things at BreWskey, now that you guys, it's almost like the band's back together type shit, have you sort of like, was there things that you guys did at BreWskey that maybe, Zack, you were sort of focusing on, let's build Bad Bones in this haze realm, but then now Ryan's in the picture again. You guys did all this other stuff together. You guys know how to do smoothies and stout, all these other different style crispies, all that stuff in like high level. You guys can do them exceptionally well. Like, has that been a discussion that you can talk about as far as like expanding that range a bit?
Sure. Well, I mean, we did. So we've done a lager so far. We did one lager,
Oh, I missed
and
that.
pretty much, yeah. We did one in August.
Oh,
Yeah,
so check that out.
right
Okay.
before the opening of our tap room.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did a lager. It was a Helles, and pretty much like so Ryan's come over a bunch and stayed back when he was living in Montreal. He'd come over and stayed a bunch at the house. Him and the whole family with the kids, and
Hell
he
yeah.
would always bring me a bunch of Will's beer. Incredible stuff, and just I'm in general, like most brewers, I'm a big fan of lager, and Ryan makes incredible lager. So like part of our conversation was that Ryan would come on and he would take over the lager program, and so yeah, in 2026, definitely expect some more lager coming out of Bad Bones for sure, and it's going to be Ryan's baby, fourth baby.
Oh
Fourth.
God. Yeah.
Can't handle it. Too many babies.
It's a lot of babies, man.
It's a lot of babies.
Up to my ears. I got a newborn.
Oh, right. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
I'm you don't even look
Three
that tall.
boys.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 boys? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's hardcore, dude.
I didn't realize, because I have a brother, so I didn't realize. We were at Badlands with Troy and his 2 kids, and he just had a newborn. And we're just sitting there with him just for a little bit, and the way that the 2 boys were just fucking going wild. They only left because one of them pissed their pants, so they're like, "All right, gotta go now." But I was like, "Is this what me and my brother were like?" Because I need to apologize to my parents. Like,
Yeah, probably.
like,
They
we probably
beat the shit out of each other, right? It's wild. It's just, well, it's growing up. It's how we learn.
Hey, you got to do it, man. You got to beat up your brother. It's part of the game.
Gotta get beaten up.
Yeah, you got beat up. Part of the vibes. I see the one you guys were talking about, the catheter, the Helles.
Yeah.
Were you happy with that, Zach, from your side, and we just wanted to like expand the program a bit? I guess now that you got the space for it.
Yeah, it came out well. I just definitely didn't have any tank space for lager whatsoever. Still don't, but we will soon. And yeah, it's going to be great opportunity for. I'm a big believer in kind of specialists in beer. You know, I love the concept that every brewer kind of has their own. Like, not obviously brewers have their passion for brewing, but there's also more focused passion too. And I guess my focused passion has always been on big IPAs. But I like the fact that the possibility of having another brewer in the mix that can focus on something else, for me, is the way that it should be. I think that we could have that for a number of things. You know, like a cellarman does mean just either you take it in the term that it's a guy who does transfers and dry hops and cleans your tanks, or it's someone who runs your cellar. It's someone who runs your barrel program. You know, it could be what you want it to be in it. And I like the kind of hyper focus that I think is very important in a brewery.
It's hard to be good at everything, you know. Like it's really hard to, like, if you're making a whole bunch of different stuff, like, and some people do that and do that really well, but it's hard, man. Like to do that on lots of different styles and super different beers and like a lot of variety and make them all like really well is very difficult.
Totally.
Because just making one style well, like really well, is super hard. So like I really like Zach's approach to that. Like just having, you can be hyper focused on not just one thing, but like, you know, you can have your sort of specialty and really lean into that and dig as deep as you can, get as good as you can at it. And yeah, excited to be making some.
Yeah. I mean, my goal in general is never to make a type of beer that's just good. You know, I want it to be the best. That's like how I think of brewing every beer. Is like it's not just going to be great beer. It's got to be world class beer. You know, and that's what I want for everything, for every style. So yeah, if yeah, to have someone's focus on that one sole thing. And I think it's also really important as a brewer to have your own thing in another thing as well. You know, like it's not just because you have the term employee is put there that it should be just end at that. You know, like I think there should be more to it where like you know you have your part of the mix too. You know, you're something that is crucial to making world class beer. And it's not just punch in, punch out. It's yours as well.
Hmm.
So I
I
feel at
like
least.
that. Yeah, dude, that's dope. I love that. I think that's a cool approach, and I guess I would say from the outside looking in, I think it's dope for the brand because I think that like you're unquestionably cemented in such a short time, arguably some of the shortest time. Like I'm talking last year, you already like everyone was already beyond stoked and about your existence and the stores couldn't keep you on the shelves, and you know you had the sort of Dunham situation. Now we're going to talk about that shortly about the new taproom thing, but I think it's like a cool extension of the brand to go into these styles a little more to give a bit of a breadth of stuff. And I imagine for both you guys as just beer fans, like we all drink everything. So, and you've obviously dabbled into now the black wine, the lager, the Helles, and the Westy now, which is sick. I'm a huge Westy guy, so I think it's like perfect combination. I think it makes so much sense for Bad Bones to sort of fuck around with all these other different things and see what sticks, see what you like. You know, obviously you're dedicated to lager, which makes complete sense. Are there styles that you can say that you guys are interested in doing over and above what we've sort of spoken about? Obviously the crispies, and it sounds like you're getting dedicated tanks for those. So then you got like, cool, we can keep them going. Are there other things that you guys are interested in doing within the scope of all of this?
Well, in our area, you know, everything that is mixed culture is pretty well tapped. You know,
Yeah,
it's there are
taken
people
care
there that
of.
are making, yeah, exactly. I don't. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes either. You know, everything that is saison and stuff like that. I think that that should be other people's thing, and I'm more than good with that. I love those styles of beer, and I love being able to drink them all the time. I just gotta walk a couple steps from our brewery and be able to get them. But I think for us, again, it's about like hyper focus, and I think at least for now that the goal is pretty much going to be um, extra crispy lagers, extra hoppy ales, and big stouts.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
going to be our
Hell yeah.
Sounds
That
great.
makes yeah. Extra crispy
yeah
lovers? Fuck yeah, dude. That's the name for it. Let's
crispy
go.
lagers.
Let's go. Because
Extra.
sometimes I'll be at a brewer extra, sorry, not even just regular crispy, like extra.
Mhm. Thank
If
you.
I'll say to a beer, like someone at a brewery somewhere that I don't really know, and I'll say, "Oh, what crispies you got?" or something. Sometimes they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, not everyone says that." Is it? I thought it was a pretty like widely used term, but
I mean, I think it pretty much is, but
Mhm.
maybe some people need to get nerdier. God damn it.
could be a
The
generation thing. You
Yeah, it could be old fucks or the young kids don't know what's going on. That's a good
Could
point.
be.
Would you guys do smoothies? Is that in, or do you think that's a little outside of those three? That's sort of maybe.
I think probably for now we'll that's not in the plan. Um, I think we've done our fair share. And
Okay.
Ryan and I were there for, I mean, arguably the first smoothie lineups in Quebec. You know,
Yep.
we
Mhm.
we
If not
we threw
Canada.
that in cans. Yeah, yeah, maybe even Canada. Yeah, we threw those in cans, and we're like, let's see what happens. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's lineups down De la Commune Street in the old port, and it was very
Yeah.
exciting. That being said, though, like it does follow into, it follows a bit in the style of beers we do in the sense that it's very flavor forward.
Hmm.
Um, but it's not necessarily my passion anymore. So we'll probably sidestep that for now.
I love that. And that's the way you got to do it, bro. If it's not your thing, don't fucking do it. I love that.
That's it.
I think that's the best brewers, and the best brewers and the best breweries just have the thing that the people who have the control over that are into, and that people are going to come because that's your unique thing. And otherwise trying to, well, these guys are doing it, we have to do it. I think that's the smartest way to do it. I love that, man.
You could taste that, man. You could taste that right away. The moment someone's doing it just to do it, you could taste it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't agree more, particularly with haze.
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you say, Ryan?
The beginning of the end. You start doing it.
If you start doing that, exactly. And I remember when like haze first started really popping up, and then everyone started to do it. And you go, I mean, we did pods. I don't want to say like who with or whatever, but I know there's people, and they would admit to it. But you pull up, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, we're doing this because they said it on the pod." I'm pretty sure. Like, "Oh, we're doing this because everyone's kind of doing it right now, so we did one." And it was just one of those like barely hazy type of things when you're just like, "Oh, this isn't. You don't care about this. Don't do it. Do the shit you care about, bro." Like, yeah, I think that's totally money. I love it. Let's do next one. What are we thinking?
Next one. Let's do it. Let's do a single. Let's do Stretcher.
Stretcher.
Yeah, Stretcher.
Nope. Need to put labels on. Of course, it's the last one I grabbed. So, there we go. Extra Hoppy 6.2. This is a cool label. This is a dope label, bro. I like this one a lot. I love how the bone specifically. I know it's in the other ones too, but because this has got like a busier background, like it stands out. Like it's so cool.
Yeah, that's true. Got to have the bone though. So
you have
to
to
have the bone.
Gotta have the bone. By the way, Zenon gave me a couple glasses, Bad Bones glasses. Very sick.
Really? Okay, nice, cool, man.
You know, Dan's a homie. He gave it to me the other day. We had the OC because then it was A and BQ this week, and he was the OCB last week. So we got fucked up with the Ontario folks, and then he went out there for the Quebec folks to get messed up. It's a beautiful thing. This being
what is the one? I'm sorry. What's the conference called in Ontario? There's a
OCB, so Ontario Craft Brewers Conference,
Okay.
and so we do like a talk every year at that. Like usually we have our marketing agency, so we do like AI and social media thing, and then they have all the parties. So it's like everyone. And the best thing, it's in fucking Hamilton. Everything's a 10-minute Uber for us. It's fire, and it's last year, this year, and next year's in Hamilton. I think they're kind of trying to keep it here because I was like, oh fuck, what if it's in like Ottawa next year? I don't want to do that. And it's here. I'm like, yes. But I know the AMBQ is in Quebec City this year. So I was talking with Emily and stuff about coming. I was like, because it was right afterwards. It's like literally like 3 days after. I'm like, oh man, like I don't know if I can swing it. But do you guys do that?
No.
This year.
No time. No time.
No time.
Yeah.
No, just keeping our head afloat.
I feel like that's like a common thing that the folks are saying. The one good, I guess, is I find it fun. Maybe because it's like I don't have to be in the physical place, so it's fine. But it's cool to sort of just like I don't know, catch up. Everyone's in one place at one time for a bit. They did this year in Quebec. They did the Canada Beer Cup.
Yes.
What's it called? You know the thing?
Yeah. Dunham brought a bunch home.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So they usually pair. We had the folks from the Canada Beer Cup on a few months ago, and they were saying that they basically try and pair it each year with one of the different conferences. So this year was like 2 years ago we went to it because it was in Niagara. I think it was in like Calgary or something, or Vancouver last year. Now they did it in Quebec City. So it's kind of cool that they're spreading it around, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. We were contemplating going, but we're going to be in Quebec next week for a collab with Nano Cinco.
Hell yeah!
And we have a collab this week on Friday. So it was just too much to back and forth. And
I can particularly there, even if it's only like 2.5-3 hours. We did it in a day when we came back in April. Was not the move.
Yeah, it's a hike.
Both. It was fucking dead coming back. And the day we drove was like one of those insane thunderstorms where it was just the whole thing, like it was just torrential rain and you just seen there's just lightning everywhere the whole way down. Like it was actually really pretty, but you know, you could have kind of died too.
I love driving in bad weather.
Who am I talking to?
That's kind of your thing.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually really good at it.
I didn't even think about that when I said that. I'm sorry, Zach. Oh my fucking god!
No, you're good. You're good.
That's the best. Oh my!
I had to. It was too easy.
No, you had to. It was right there. It would have been silly to leave that one alone. Let's talk about Stretcher. This is Citra and Rawaka 6.2. Gentlemen, get that. Oh, twinsies. Cheers, boys. Ooh. Hell yeah. That Rawaka takes over, huh?
Yeah.
Rawaka is such a punchy hop. I love it.
Rawaka.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, this is great, man. Is this one relatively?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
very. Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, this is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sick. It was. Yeah, exactly 2 weeks ago. Well done. Yeah, this is beautiful. Anything else we need to? I mean, this has got all the very dank. Got that whatever Rawaka juice. I don't know, like whatever Rawaka is. This is exactly what it is. I don't know how to describe it. Is there
freestyle Rawaka, man?
And something else.
Yeah, freestyle Rawaka. How would you?
Yeah, I get almost like sesame, almost, which is a very weird thing to say. I feel like most people would be like, that doesn't sound good to me, but it's got all the regular kind of passion fruit, dank pineapple thing to it. But then there's just that little hint of something that, for me, comes off as sesame.
Some people really don't like it.
I remember saying to Derrick. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I remember saying to Derrick once, aren't you afraid that if you put too much Rawaka in a beer, it's going to overpower a beer? And he just turned to me and said, "Well, yes, but that's because you're wrong."
All right. I mean, look, if anybody knows, it's him. Hurricane Derrick.
Hurricane Derrick.
I just sent him a message on Facebook when you said it before. I know to see if he responds during the pod. The old Hurricane Derrick. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like it. I mean, but it does definitely. I don't know if overpower, but it's like it's so present that it's like you could do this blind. You'd be like, "That's fucking Rawaka." Like you would pick that up immediately, which is not a bad thing at all. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, some people don't like it. Like some people find
stuff. It's particularly punchy.
Yeah. I guess I have heard that people don't like it. People just like, oh, I avoid stuff with Rawaka in it, which I always kind of found like there's no hop that I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't really like Crush that much. I feel like Crush, I see it a lot. How do you guys feel about it?
Depends on the style of beer, I guess. For me, I don't know what I would. I don't know what I would if I would put it in our styles, but yeah.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't know. It has like kind of like a little bit of a bell pepper thing that I get from it a lot, which always sort of doesn't totally sit right with me. But I'm if you use it right, it can be good for sure.
It can be good.
Okay. Some people love it.
It seems to be like a cooler support hop than like a main thing, and I see it a lot as a main hop, and I'm just like, it's almost like 1019, where it's like too much of that kind of peachy, but not good. I love Peacherina is the goat to me, but not in that way. It's like a different type of like a fakey kind of peachy, coconutty thing. That kind of sits, but yeah. Anyway, like that was a side note, but yeah, this slaps. This is like a nice balance from the Citra and Rawaka. The Rawaka just probably naturally. Is it like 50-50?
Yeah, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Rawaka just kind of shine through a little touch more. They actually recommend that. Well, they say because Rawaka is so much more expensive than other hops, they say that you could put less in there. But that's probably true because it probably relaxes a little
bit.
With that. You're like less. Couldn't be Bad Bones, bro. Fuck out of here. You know
That's
what? Less? What's that? I actually have a question for you, Ryan. I've always wanted to know, and I Googled it. So I call it Moteca. I don't know why, because everyone says Motueka. And I was like, this seems too obvious. Do you know the proper pronunciation as the
yeah.
official Kiwi?
It's Motsueka.
Okay,
It's
so people are right.
yeah. It's four
Damn it.
syllables, I guess.
Motueka. Okay, so you do pronounce. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna start saying it right now. Now we've talked about it on air before. I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was, and that was an arrogant Australian approach, and I apologize to the country of New Zealand for that.
That's we're used to it. It's fine.
We steal everything from Russell Crowe to Pavlov. Steal it all.
That's it.
I apologize again for all of that. Not for Russell Crowe. Fuck, he seems pretty happy. He seems pretty chill. I've seen him on some podcasts recently. He's chilling. Doing all right. Got some horse farm selling fucking Angus beef in like New South Wales somewhere. Good for him. Yeah, he's on Rogan twice. So I listened to it last year, and he's on again. So I'm excited. But this is fire, boys. So everything we're drinking as well, just for availability purposes. So this will come out in like probably 2 weeks. So maybe it'll probably be gone from the brewery. Everything we're drinking right now, but it might still be in distro. Maybe. Okay, maybe not.
Most of the accounts that we have, it's pretty much a 1 week turnaround.
Okay, cool. So they'll be able to get something else of similar-ish vibes.
Possible.
Okay.
Yeah, every yeah, probably somewhere. Yeah. I mean, if they really work hard, I'm sure they could find it. But most places they get about 2-3 SKUs a week, so
okay,
there'll be something there for them.
Okay. Yeah. Is that restriction, I believe, was the same last year? So it's similar thing. I think we had if my memory serves me, there was maybe like 20 locations in Montreal or sort of around the general vicinity that was able to get the product. And it was hard. You had like a lineup of folks who wanted more, but you just couldn't serve them. So I was like, sorry guys, we're trying to figure it out. And there was only 1 case maximum per spot. Is that still a year later? Is that still the same?
Yeah, that's the same. It's gotten worse. People hate me. My Pivo hub is not fun. I have just a slew. It's not good. I don't like to be that guy in general. I don't like to keep people waiting. It's not something I like. But
I understand.
Yeah, it's like that.
Is there any foreseeable change in that in the near future at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, so our tap room is in the same building as Matera's brewery.
Oh no shit!
There's actually three things in that building. Yeah. So there's the tap room. Then next to it is L'Arpège, which is a fantastic winery.
Okay.
That guy also owns the building.
Okay.
And then next to them is our homies in Matera. So we've been fermenting beers in their brewery, but we have 2 tanks coming in that space. We have 2 double batch tanks coming in that space where we're going to do lagers and double batch IPA in that. Yeah.
No shit. Okay, look, to be honest, I knew Olivier from Matera back in the day, but excuse me, I didn't know what happened to the brand. I didn't know if it was still around or not. So they didn't have a physical location back when from memory, but that is amazing. Yeah. So you guys are sharing. I mean, this is a pretty sweet segue into sort of talking about the tap room. So essentially, it's not your brewery is still the same. It's taking that 450 square feet in Dunham, Brasserie Dunham, right? Yep. And this is down the street or whatever.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yeah. 5 minutes drive. Essentially, Will, who's the owner of Matera, he was brewing a beer on our system. He brews their from time to time. And he was talking about how they were reorganizing their structure a little bit. Some of his friends who he had started it with were less interested in the brewing industry and whatnot, and so they were leaving. And one of them was a gentleman who was running the tap room, their tap room, which he could no longer do himself. So he said he was going to have to close that side of the building. And I'm there brewing a beer with him, and we were in the process of we were actually looking for a property that we were going to build a little something on. And I was like, well, if you have this space that's opening up that's literally down the street, I said, why don't we take it over, and we'll sell your stuff too, and we'll do it as a collaboration. So we have we have 3 Matera beers on tap. We sell their cans, and everyone's happy. He's able to keep that open, and we're able to have our tap room.
Dude, that's awesome. I don't know why that's the first I'm hearing of that. That's so cool. So okay,
so that's what we do. We apparently we only do like collaborations. That's how we roll. It's just in unison with everyone else.
Sharing is caring, Zach.
That's it. You guys are out here sharing. Okay, I think that's sick, man. Like that's such a cool way to approach it in a time where we're seeing a lot of mergers, we're seeing a lot of like things like that. It just makes sense where it's like, all right, if we can make it any situation like financially viable for everybody, let's go. And for you to still be able to keep that same spot, because it sounds like you got a pretty good thing going on down there at Dunham, and Lewell's really like taking care of you guys and really like sort of just helped you like see this through, which is a beautiful thing. And then now to have this, I was like, I didn't actually know how it all went down. So okay, so it was really just that's what it is. So it's branded as Bad Bones, or it's branded as Bad Bones Matera?
Well, it's branded as Bad Bones. The whole thing has our image to it, but it's all in collaboration with them.
Amazing. So then that I love it. That's just so smart. So then, okay, you launched in it was before the first anniversary now, or was it on that you opened?
Yeah. It was a couple weeks before. By the time we did all the renovations and whatnot, it was it was a couple, maybe 3 weeks before we had our grand opening. It's great. Then a couple weeks later, we did our anniversary.
Fuck yeah. Okay. The response, I imagine, has probably been as expected, bigger than expected. Like, how has it generally been?
For me, again, it was bigger than expected. Just like our first months of operations as a brewery in general, it just seems like, I don't know, people just seem to flock to our project, and we're just incredibly grateful. It's like insane. We have people coming from Philly, we have people coming from Maine, Vermont a lot. It's just people come from Saguenay, back and forth, like driving, coming to grab a couple cases and then driving right back to Saguenay. It's like, you're the man. Like that is just insane. 6 hours, 7 hours.
I had that in my head, and I was like, that can't possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's honestly outstanding. When the dude told me that, I was like, okay, you
earned this.
Yeah, you sure did.
Jeez, they really need to.
So yeah, it's definitely been a little more.
That's awesome, man. Congrats. I hope they do bring the shipping thing in, though. It's with apparently spring next year is the opening up, apparently penciled in for the opening up of the provincial borders, like countrywide.
Mm-hmm.
But then someone pointed out to me, does that fix the internal things in each province? Like that doesn't necessarily, that means you could sell to a consumer in Vancouver, but doesn't mean you could sell to a consumer in Saguenay. I don't think it technically does. So Quebec would have to reform their laws accordingly to allow for that, which would make a lot of sense, being that like you got people in Thunder Bay here in Ontario and they're ordering from a brewery in fucking Toronto or whatever. Like, how else are they supposed to get the stuff when it's all the way up there, you know? And it's like a 12,
Sure.
15-hour drive or something like that. So that would be pretty amazing. But
absolutely.
that's very cool that you got. I think one of the things that speaks to the quality of what you're doing and the excitement globally around Canadian beer is that you got people coming from across the border. Like, they're driving up from everywhere to come up there. Like, they could go anywhere, and they chose to come there. And I think
Yeah.
that's like that's so cool, huh?
Yeah, no. I find that that's honestly incredible, especially with the quality of beer coming out of the US, and the fact that they're still making the journey over here is just outstanding. Like when you open something like this, there's always in the back of your mind, it's like you kind of know, like at least I'm constantly reading about the industry. Obviously, the industry is my life, so all I'm doing is trying to see what's going on out there, and a lot of the stories are pretty grim, and it's getting pretty difficult out there. So in the back of my mind, that's always a thing. It's your first summer in a new tap room. No one knows you're there. You've made a couple posts, you've made a couple videos, but it's like in general, you're completely unknown, and then all of a sudden you do your anniversary and there's just like lineups nonstop the entire day, and you're like, holy shit, this is incredible. This gives you it keeps you going. It gives you so much hope. It's like back to the days of those YouTube videos, where people are lining up with trolleys of cases and cases of treehouse, and you see that
Yeah.
stuff, but like for yourself, and you're like, okay, this is why you do it. This is what it's all about, is seeing people and their excitement, and they're like they're worried, are they going to get enough? They're trying the beer, and they're blown away, and it's just like makes it worth it.
That's so cool, man. I was talking, funnily enough, with Alex from Wills, Guillaume from Le Catch, and Derrick from BreWskey in the last week, because they were all in the Netherlands, I believe, for a festival.
Yeah.
And they were saying, all three of them independently were just telling me how stoked the European consumers are for Canadian beer. And I thought that was really, because those three people have all been brought up on this pod already. It's interesting that those three guys I'd spoken to in the last week, and that people outside of Canada are so excited about Canadian beer, I think speaks volumes. Like, you kind of summarize it really well, where it's like, I don't even, do people know us? We're putting this shit out, obviously you can't keep up with your internal retailers. So you're like, okay, well, cool. But do people care outside of this little bubble? Clearly they do. If they're bringing all these breweries out to Europe, and these consumers, because they don't do anything really like what we do here out there. And I feel like I'm seeing more and more of it. Third Moon were out there too. I haven't spoken to the boys, but I saw their post too. So they were with them all. All those guys were all together. I was like, this is pretty fucking sick. And I keep seeing, I feel like that's, I don't know if that's like just crazy encouraging, whether there's opportunities for export to Europe. I know in Asia as well, there's a lot of export opportunities. Have you guys seen any sort of like taste of that yet? Obviously you're newer than the other folks that are they're out there right now, but you're obviously in those circles and conversations. Like, have this been something you thought about? Do you care about getting beer out to Europe? Are you hoping to attract Europeans out here? Like, what's your general, from both you guys, what's your takes on that?
I think most of our so far most of our like big interests have been, in terms of like from people besides Quebecers, has been, or Canadians in general, because there's also a lot of Ontario people we see too, but most of it has been from the States.
Okay.
In terms of getting beer elsewhere, I think yeah, we've so pretty much all those places have reached out to us to get beer from us. We would like to work with them for sure, but we don't have the capacity to do that. We're real small, right? So it's just that doesn't. We're kind of working right now. We're focused on internally, and then we'll see where things go afterwards. But our goal is really just to work with the demand always, and like for right now, the demand far beats the supply, and so we're just going to try to work on that and then see where that leads us. But yeah, we've definitely had the people reach out to us for that, but hopefully we can get something out to them. That'd be nice. But for right now, we're focused on what we can do, what little beer we can put out right now.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Have you seen that? Do you know what I'm talking about, Ryan? Have you seen a lot of all that sort of like excitement about Canadian, Quebec, Ontario? I think that's where primarily the excitement is from out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at Will's we were getting approached quite a bit. Like those guys are, they were just like you were saying, like Aurélien, he's the head brewer there now. He's a good friend of mine. He was out there. I think he might even still be there, touring around.
Like Cantillon today or something. It was fucking
cool. Super cool, man. Super cool. I'm stoked for those guys. Doing all those festivals, and it's there's obviously like a lot of excitement for the Canadian beer and like the stuff we're doing. I think especially on the East Coast. And like I mean, I haven't been back to Europe in a long time. Europe obviously has a really sort of thriving beer scene in its own right, and like crazy tradition, all that stuff. But the stuff I think that a lot of the breweries are doing here, like the stuff we're doing at BAOS and some of the other places as well, doesn't sound like that's as popular. Is as prevalent out there from breweries. So I guess they're just kind of getting their minds blown a bit from some of the beers they're trying from Canadian breweries and from the US breweries, and it's very, very cool to see for sure.
I'll tell you this though, if one of the European importers want to trade Bad Bones beer for a lifetime supply of Taras Bulba or Zinnebeer, you got me.
You can talk. Let's talk.
That beer is so good. I was in Belgium. I drank that every day. It's too good.
I've heard of that Taras Boba. What is that?
It's an extra hoppy ale. It's
yeah.
That's where I first saw that term, and it's
really
yeah. It's not. It's not.
Oh,
yeah,
from
absolutely.
De La Seine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brasserie de la Seine. Yeah.
Oh, it is an extra hoppy ale. Shit, you're right. Okay, so it's like
they
call it 4.5 session beer. They calling it. Have I had
it's not like what we do, but I just remember drinking this beer, and it's hoppy, it's bitter, and it's incredible. You can drink an insane amount of them and still feel good about yourself. And it's just don't use the term perfect often for beer, but I would say that those two beers would fit in that description. And I remember just drinking those back and seeing extra hoppy ale, and I was like, extra hoppy ale. I was like, that describes it. It is that, and so I was inspired to use that for our beers.
It is that.
There you go, a little like origin story.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last time. That's sick, dude. That's pretty dope. I feel like if you're able to, when you guys are able to get that, I feel like it seems to be there's a thirst out there for what we do out here in Canada in a way that I don't know if it exists anywhere else. Maybe in China. I think China is one of the main places, but I think across Asia there's like some stuff in Japan that's going down, and Korea, South Korea, and stuff like that. But it seems like Europe in general are just fucking all about it, because there's not that many haze producers. Obviously in the UK there's Verdant and a few other things like that, but in Europe there's Mikkeller, Omnipolio, a few other folks maybe that are doing some stuff, but not like we're doing it. And I just think it's like they could have the usual suspects: Trillium Treehouse, Monkey, Other Half, fucking whatever, you name all the millions of killer haze producers in America, but they're coming to Canada. And on top of that, and you might know about this, Ryan, in Australia, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's like, they have the pint of origin thing I think it's May. So they have like this bar, I know some of the folks, but like Mr. West out there in Footscray will do like fucking the Canada, and then there'll be Carwin Sellers will do America, whatever, and they'll have each different bar will have all imports, and they get it cold chain shipped. So they'll have like beers from here that are like on a plane that's a cool plane all the way down. Is bonkers, and they're like $20-$25 cans, but you know, my fucking camera again. But it's just like the excitement for what we're doing in Canada, down there and elsewhere in the world is so palpable. It's very cool to me in a time in beer where it's up and down, it's a little touch and go for some places, but to see that sort of global excitement is just like, I think it's wonderful. It's so cool, man. And I feel like it's like for guys like yourselves that, as I was seeing this, I was like, all right, well, who else needs to be in this conversation when I'm seeing these? And you guys were one of the, I guess, because we were having the pod this week as well. I'm like, well, but I also know there's like, you weren't keeping up a year ago, and I imagine it would be the same. It sounds like problems haven't changed. But like, once that gets, you know, once you guys sort of get into a groove and you're able to do that, I just feel like there's sort of almost like, not necessarily unlimited potential, but it's like, it feels extraordinarily optimistic. And maybe this is me looking at it from the outside in and stuff, but just seeing that sort of excitement at a time when maybe sort of it's dulled a little bit, maybe because we're so, in North America, we're so used to it and having just fire everywhere. Particularly in the last 3 to 5 years, everyone's slaying it. Ontario and Quebec specifically, I just feel like this particular part of the country is just out of control. I dare you to find a bad beer type shit. Whereas, you know, yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. I just think it's really cool, and seeing and hearing reports back. They all seemed, they brought it up to me when we just happened to be talking for other reasons. And they, like, Alex texted me out of the blue. It was like, hey man, how you doing? It's been a minute. I'm in fucking whatever the city was, started with A. I forgot what it was called. People are losing their minds right now for the stuff. It's awesome. I feel like they're just really happy and just really like grateful that people are into it. And I just think it's like, yeah, it's cool.
Super cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it.
Quick break before next beer.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
That was smooth. That was smooth, Zach. All right,
on.
Quick break. Let's go. And we are back, and it is time for a little freshie right here. Boom! Look at this little gem. Look at that. Look at that X-rayed burn right there. Beautiful. This is an 8% banger. I didn't check what this one has in it. What hops has this got in it, gentlemen? Oh, I have it right here. I'm sorry. Nelson
Sauvin from Freestyle
go.
Hops.
I did learn somewhat recently that Nelson Sauvin is a place. I didn't know that.
Nelson's a place.
Yeah.
Nelson, yeah.
Out of control.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Isn't it? I'm sure it's glorious. I'm sure it's the greatest.
Yeah. It's a little town. It's great. Gorgeous.
It's just so crazy. I don't know why. I feel like I don't think I appreciated New Zealand until I got into beer. Which is ridiculous. I did like the accent. Do you remember Beach Daz?
Yeah, bro, of course.
So I'm sorry for that, first of all. Do you know what I'm talking about, Zach?
Nah, he
I've already made fun of Ryan plenty of times because of that.
Okay, good. Oh, bro. So those. No. Oh no, hey, bro. Oh no.
Oh, hey, bro.
Oh, hey, bro. Want a chip, bro? This one, chip.
No, bro.
Oh no.
I can't eat chips, can't chew, bro. So that fucking guy owns a brewery in New South Wales now. I was trying to get him on the pod. The dude who did the voice.
Really?
I reached out to him, and it just sort of like, it didn't, I can't remember what happened. I think we just kind of let it fizzle. And
That's
normally,
weird.
obviously, we drink the same beer, and obviously he can't get me the beer, but I'm like, I don't care, bro. Like, just come on the podcast, because I just wanted to hear him say, oh no. And he also did, this is probably out of your world, Zach, but do you know what Trent from Punchy? Are you guys familiar with that?
Vegan.
Okay, so that's an Aussie thing then. It was just a character he did of this guy that no one knew if it was real or an act. And it was the same guy, it was an act, who did the voice for Beach Daz. and he fucking owns a brewery. And I was like, ugh. And back then we had beach as my text message tone. So if I got a text message, it went for like a minute and a half. I don't think I've heard anything more in my entire life than beach as. And when we went to Auckland, my brother was like, if you keep talking like that and someone tries to fight you, I'm not going to stand up. I'm not. You're just going to get beat down. So
I think that's fair, honestly.
So I think it was fair too. I was probably like,
That's gutsy, man. That's real gutsy.
yeah, I didn't do it. I don't think so. People, because it's just I think it's the funniest / sweetest accent on the planet. And I don't think anything's really funnier to me than the New Zealand accent, but not in a bad way. I think it's endearing as fuck. It's
right,
it's a beautiful thing. So 100% Nelson, 8%. Gentlemen, cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Look at that. Thick as fuck. Oof. Oh my gosh. Let's go. This is also recent.
3 weeks this one, eh?
Yep.
3?
Yeah. This one's a little older than the stretcher pelvis. Yeah.
This is glorious. Perfect sweetness. Body is glorious. The Nelson is great. It's not even like, sometimes 100% Nelson, you kind of go more of that sort of white grape sort of thing. I feel like that's not overpowering here. This is like really smooth and kind of, I feel like it's almost like diverse tropical fruits. Am I misinterpreting that?
No, I think you're right on it. That's
I'm getting the grapes, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah, good share of grapes. Yeah, maybe less of the diesel, more of the grape and fruit forward part of it. Yeah.
This is spectacular. It's so rounded, it's nice, and I feel like you guys have a still even back then, but I feel like back then you're only open for like 4 months when we did this pod. The hop burn side of things, which personally I'm a huge fan of. Some people like it, some people don't. But I feel like if there's a beer with hop burn or greenness, whatever you want to call it, it ends up being just meaning longevity for the beer. I mean, haze, I'm always petrified about drinking them within like a month, for the most part. But if it's got a bit of hop burn in it, I feel like they last a lot longer. Do you guys have any official feelings on that side of thing?
Zach?
Well, I'd say we try to make sure that the beer, when it is consumed, it's not necessarily going to just decline afterwards. You know what I mean? So when your beer tastes a little young, if you're like one of those really big haze fans that comes out on release day and you're like, I'm here for every release, I need this release, chances are you like your beers when they're a little bit on the youngish side. That being said, if you're not like that and you're willing to wait a little bit more, chances are like you are going to get it when you can get it. And so for me, when the beer first comes out, it needs to have a little bit of punch to it. It's got to have a little bit of that aggressiveness to it. Because as that fades, over time, it'll appeal to different drinkers as well. And so I find that kind of arc will match the drinker and the consumer, and when they're gonna consume that. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But essentially, I just believe that if you release a beer and it's, let's say, it's perfectly round and it has no sharp edges whatsoever, well, then after that it's just going to drop. It's going to continue to get maybe a little bit sweeter. The aroma is going to continue to fade, like all hoppy beer. Versus if you release it while it is still a little bit aggressive, well, that still appeals to a certain drinker, and it also might, when it gets into other people's hands, will be their perfect time to drink that beer. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, man.
For me, yeah, for sure. Yeah. What do you think, Aaron?
Zach, quick question for you, man. What, just for the Bad Bones beers, like, do you have a favorite time that you like to drink them? Like,
that was going to be my next question after this. Thank you.
Like canning day versus a week later versus 2 weeks later, just for your preference. I'm interested.
Yeah. My perfect time is between the day after canning because I'm a bit sick like that. I like it to have a
Like
certain
a
amount of
brewer.
punch. Um, to about a week or two later. For me, this is like the ideal time for me.
Okay.
Mhm.
Same question then.
It's not that they
Is
get
that for
bad after that.
just a preference?
It's just that they're yeah. It's just for me that they hit a certain point where it's just like it's not really a fair question to ask to me, I guess, because then I have the new
Yeah,
ones the next week later
yeah, yeah.
again, you know. So I'm like,
Right.
I'm just constantly drinking fresh beer that
That's true.
I'm happy about. So, but after a certain point, they do, I find, start to become more drinkable, which is a good thing for most beer drinkers, I feel like. Um, but for me, what I want is that wow factor, you know,
Mm,
and that is a very important moment that is fleeting. It disappears
Hmm.
very quickly, but not because the rest of the beer is not going to be great. It's just that there is a certain moment when you crack a fresh can of beer. It's like when you crack open a bag of hops, you know, that
mhm,
first moment where it just like
mhm,
all everything that's volatile that will start to dissipate over time,
mhm.
it's still there, and it's just unlike any experience you could describe in craft beer. So that's why I like it at those moments.
You want like the punch in the face.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I respect that. Would that extend to all brands or all breweries, or is that primarily a Bad Bones preference?
Meaning like when I'm drinking other people's beer.
Yeah, so if you're drinking someone else's beer and what you just described as your preference for like Ryan's question as far as when you like to drink Bad Bones beer, would you also want to see, excuse me, those same characteristics in other beers from other places?
Yeah. So I guess in general, when I'm drinking other people's beer too, I in those first 2 week marks is really where it like or where I really get excited for other people's beer. Like
Mhm.
just for my preference, it's like when I've had you know I've had Troon that is 3 months old or even 4 months old, still a great beer, you know. But I've also had Troon that is 3 weeks old, and you're like, okay, this is like, all right, it's
That's what I'm
like it's
talking
not
about.
like you're necessarily going to chug the growler because it's so intense that it's not necessarily what you know what you're going to chug. But man, it's just like you know, but also it depends on the brewery. You know, there's I've had some breweries that the first time you crack their beer, it's like it's too much. You know, you're like, oh, this kind of hurts a bit. You know,
Mhm.
this is
Like
not
tasty.
really all that pleasant. But then tasty and it's just not a smooth experience, aroma and whatnot aside. But then you crack that same beer in 3 weeks and you're like, okay, I get it. Like this makes so much more sense to me. This is what potentially they might have wanted, but they just release it at different times. So it all comes down to obviously comes down to preference, but it's
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. That makes sense a lot. I agree from my experience. Do you have a take on that as well, Ryan, from your side?
I think like maybe I'm a little more sensitive to the green and the hop burn. Like I think I like for the Bad Bones beers, I tend to like them like maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 days after canning seems to be like the peak for me. Just when that green has subsided a little bit, but it's still like super punchy.
Mm.
And it's like chef's kiss, you know. Um, like when we're drinking them on canning day, which you know we do occasionally. Um, it's
Occasionally.
yeah, like there's still like a little bit too much bite in it, just from my personal preference. But I totally get what Zach's saying, and like everyone's different, right? Like it's, I think the overall thinking there makes a lot of sense to me. Like getting it out like that and having it kind of evolve and appeal to different people. Yeah.
I get it. So then, being that it does have that greenness, and I'm a fan personally. I kind of probably more, I like it kind of like, oh, this is a lot. Okay, this is fun. To me, whenever I drink a beer like that, I'm like, oh, if I had another can or 3 more cans of this, I can let this shit sit for like 3-4 weeks, and it's gonna be sweet. Not sweet, but like awesome. At that time, because I always try to be nice, but I'm like, I don't really like anything much more than like 4 weeks, typically speaking, which is really hard for distro. Not for your stuff, obviously, it moves so quickly. But if I'm going to Buffalo and I want to get some stuff, everything in distro is fucking old a lot of the times, particularly like things I want to grab, like foam. They're all out here everywhere. Everything's 8-12 weeks old. I'm like, I can't, man. I know that's not the beer that the brewers intended.
It's a long time.
It is, right? And particularly for this style, even if it's cold chain or if it's kept cold, some places it is, some places it isn't. But I'm just I just can't. And haze is such a finicky style like that. Like I know that if I get something that's a little bit older, it's not going to be what the brewers intended. But also, like, you don't know beforehand if it's going to be if it was green week 1, week 2, then I know that week 6, maybe it's okay. Because there's sometimes, like, I would imagine that the beers we drank tonight, they're actually all like not that green, to be honest. But I feel like they're green enough to be like, I could like, this is week 3, you said, for X-Ray that we're drinking now. I bet if we drank this week 6, it'd be good to go, would be my guess based on that. Is that fair from you guys' side, or is that sort of a bit like, is that still a personal preference thing?
It's fair. No, that's definitely fair. I wouldn't recommend it. I would definitely drink it quick, and there's always more of it coming out. So I highly recommend to drink all these beers as soon as possible. But I mean, yeah, sure. You can, based on your preference, if you grab 2 cans and you feel like one has a little bit rougher edges than you might necessarily prefer, then yeah, maybe let it sit for a week or 2. But in general, I'm not one of the I don't try to have a beer that is too far away from its peak, So if it's released, chances are it's there, plus or minus your preference of a couple weeks here or there. More than that, it's really not the intention.
I like that. Thank you for saying that, because I think that's like, I feel like, tell me if you guys think this is fair, I feel like every brewery would probably have a different answer to their own. Like, I've had people say Badlands, Troy from Badlands, like, drink it within a month, get it within 4 weeks. After that, it's not really what I intended. So from what you just said then, Zach, what is the longest that you intended, would you say, for your product? Because I think this is a really interesting conversation, because there's no right or wrong answer. This is brewery specific, brewer specific, and even within that, you could tell me an answer to this question, and then someone could drink it twice as long and think it's incredible, and you're gonna be like, okay, well, that's not what I wanted, but if you like it, fucking good on you. Like, what's your
that's it. At the end of the day, it's what they want. But like 3 weeks, I would say is like our longest. For me, is like you're starting to stretch it. Yeah,
I don't think there's many IPAs that are like better after 3 weeks, right? Like if these like heavily hopped IPAs, like if you start to get to the 3-4 week mark, like they're not getting better at that point, really.
That's a good point. Okay, no, that's a good point. This is 3 we're saying here right now, right? This doesn't taste even a fraction. I feel like I could sit on this for 2 to 3 more weeks personally. But I mean, I don't know for sure.
Which by all means, like, you know, with our packaging line, we like you can, you know,
You got a good DO.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the beer is made on a same line that packages beer that lasts on shelves for a very long time. So you can you can store it for as long as you want. It's just a matter of preference, and just for me, the whole thing of the whole fun part of small batch is always that it's you know, it makes us work like animals because we have to brew all the freaking time, but you know, it's pushing out. It's rolling. It's always moving. There's always more beer, more beer, more beer. So like
Get it done.
there's no need to
Crush
sit
it.
on it
Move
if
on.
you don't need to. It's just
Mm.
on to the next.
Yeah, word. I did a what do you call it? Like a bottle share at Counterpart recently, like in the summer. I was the least
Great brewery.
great brewery, phenomenal. Greg's the man. Did you guys work with him? You guys did a collab with him, I think, recently. Yeah. No, you
Yeah.
did, right? What'd you do?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We did a double IPA with them. Yeah, for their anniversary.
Earlier this year. Okay, yeah, it would have been like March, April, right?
It was recently, man. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
was
like
it like for Halloween then? They did a big Halloween drop. Maybe they did it for that.
Yes, it was for Halloween. It was for Halloween.
So I have it
Sorry,
in the
I'm so
fridge.
sorry.
I haven't had it yet. No, it's okay. Same shit. Anniversary, Halloween, whatever. And it was like a host of there, and there was I was like the least fucking. Greg was like, just come along, don't bring anything. I was like, I gotta bring something. And I think he probably took, because they were just trying to get rid of stuff. I hadn't been a part of it. And dudes there, these were like the crazy, like I think I'm pretty into it. I know you guys are all pretty. These guys were like intense motherfuckers bringing crazy shit. I was like, all right, it was very fun. And those dudes were telling me that they think Treehouse goes, they're like, it's like clockwork to like 3 months. I was like, interesting. So I feel like, and I went to recently in September, I went to Fiden's and Treehouse in Saratoga Springs because now it's the closest one to both of us, really, essentially, which was super nice. And
No, not to us.
No, what's the closest to you guys?
It's Woodstock.
Oh, Connecticut?
No, sorry.
No, Deerfield, Massachusetts, right?
Deerfield.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, because that's like 3 hours from
like just south of Vermont, and it's like
just out of there. Okay. So I did like the I'll stay in Albany, went to Fiden's, went up there. I've been having like, I guess all of this just in the conversation of longevity, and I think it's a really cool conversation to have with like fucking god tier haze makers that, you know, from all the different perspectives on it, because I feel like they're like we're saying there's no right answer, but yeah, these dudes were just telling me that it was 3 months on Treehouse. I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit on for 3 months, but good to know. And Fiden's was like, it was I went on the October weekend, sorry, Oktoberfest weekend, which is September 18, 19, 20, whatever. So it's coming up on 2 months from that. I think I've got 1 can left from stuff, and I could tell that it was starting. I was like, oh, this isn't what it was when I drank it at the brewery. And I got everything like that week, because you know how it just goes, just like you guys, it goes.
And how long was that?
So that would have been, I've got 1 can of a pale ale left that I forgot was in there because it was behind other stuff. And I was like, I found it the other day. So I got to drink that like this weekend. So that would probably be 6 from the last 6 weeks. So let's call it September 20th, which was the main Oktoberfest. It was whatever the weekend when everyone in Germany was doing the shit and every brewery was doing the Stein holding contest and all that type of stuff. It just happened to be that weekend that we decided to go. So I felt like the Treehouse, I kind of cleaned it up a little beforehand, but the Fiden's, I was noticing the drop. The Treehouse, I didn't notice the drop in. And I was just like, okay. I feel like I hadn't had a volume of their stuff in a while to sort of see where it was sort of sitting after some time. I didn't intentionally leave it. It's just, you go to a place like that, like I didn't come out with a dolly or whatever, but I, brought enough stuff that it was like, took me a bit of time to get through. I just thought it was an interesting experiment. Not that I was experimenting, like I said, but just, seeing how long it all takes. And I was like, okay, well, I'm always just sort of wondering how much the difference is. Is it like every consumer's individual palates versus the brewer's intention versus like, if everyone says, I don't know if Treehouse makes it to last 3 months, to me that would probably make sense based on the volume that people are purchasing, and I imagine they got some pretty solid canning lines and stuff. Yeah, it seems to just be so different per brewery, per there's not like sort of like this is what it is for longevity of haze. So I think it's really cool to hear both of your perspectives on that from the other breweries that you've both been at. So we were talking, the Bad Bones specific stuff, which I think is amazing. And you sort of like, maybe 3 weeks is like the optimal situation where we're drinking this. But like I said, I feel like I'd be happy to drink this in 1 to 3 weeks and it would still be great. But I'm saying it without doing it, but that's just what it feels like. At BreWskey, at Will's, was it similar to this from that maybe when you guys didn't have full control over that? Was there any difference at all? Just to kind of get into the weeds of like, what does everyone think at different places? And
go, Zach.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say probably for the beginning of BreWskey, beer was like beer mostly had more of those rough edges to it. It definitely we definitely put out some beer that was probably a little probably a little similar to what we're doing here, where it had like a bit of an aggressive bite to it right off the canning line, and so that I would say was probably around the similar. But again, it's like so up to like preferences, like I know at that time, some of the people working at BreWskey were very, very down for that. Others were less down for that. They wanted to be softer. It was really, really dependent on kind of each individual's mindset on what they felt like drinking right when you get a can. When you work at a brewery, like you have it's a moving target all the time. Like it's always changing. So it's like you're always going forward. So it's tough to keep up with what everyone wants the beer to be. I think like that being said, I guess Derrick has now dialed his experience to be more rounded when it comes out, um, uh, less bite, which is really nice as well. So I think yeah, it's really just comes down to the preference and taking time to dial all that stuff in. That's a bit my experience over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Brian, from Will's side, was that any different at all? Who had control over that?
I guess it was a little different. Like we were doing pretty long turns on the tanks, so like for me, for the Will's IPAs, usually they were like pretty much the best as soon as they were canned, and then they start like maybe like a week after, maybe they were 2 weeks, and then after that it started to go downhill slowly, like still good, but not peak,
Where it was, gotcha.
Like, but it's a little bit of a different. It was a little bit of a different thing that we were doing there compared to like what we're doing now at Bad Bones or what BreWskey's doing. Just the processes and stuff a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I guess very general. Like Zach said, it's super subjective. Like depends what you like. But I don't think many of these really heavily hopped IPAs are getting much better after like 3 or 4 weeks. Like I think they're not that they might still be really good, but I don't know if they're as good as they were before that. I feel like they start to
Yeah, like every brewery like wants the brewer's goal is always to make beer that lasts as long as possible, right? From point A to point B. Like you just need to make sure that there's as little oxygen pickup as every little thing you can tweak to make sure that your beer lasts for the long haul, you're going to try to do, regardless of your preference. That's your goal. And then after that, it becomes a different thing. It becomes more of like a flavor preference.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. And once again, this is all just specific to haze, and I imagine each style probably has a bit of a similar conversation.
Totally, man. It's like these beers are really volatile. Like they're really sensitive, and like it's not the same with different kinds of beers. Like these beers, like when they drop off, they can drop off really quick. And they're
you were saying, Ryan, right, for lagers, you had like a time frame too, that you were saying there was like changes pretty drastically. No, there was like especially for lagering times,
like actually in the tank,
like in a tank, and then based on that, because let's say it continues to lager in cans or in keg, right? So it, like you gotta kind of keep that into perspective.
Yeah, I mean they lost way longer. They lost a lot longer for sure. Like months. Like if all your processes,
sure.
Your packaging is good. Like they should be really good in cans for months. Even they might even get better like after like 1 or 2 months. Like which is it's not the case with the hazies and stuff. And like I think that's
yeah. No, I just found it interesting.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. No, I was just saying that you were saying that there was like a peak for lagers too, right? Like in terms of how long you lager versus how long
it lasts in cans
after that.
I think what I was saying to you was that like we had a few situations where, especially in the winter, where we would lager in tanks longer than we initially intended, just because like it was February, sales were a little slow. We didn't need to turn the tanks over as quickly as we thought. They're massive tanks, and pretty much anytime we did that, like the beers just kept getting better and better and better. Like the longer they lagered, like for real. And we even at the shortest time frame at Will's, like the lagering was still pretty long compared to what most people are doing. But like when 6 weeks turned into 10 weeks or 11 weeks or 12 weeks in the tanks, like they just kept getting better and better. And I thought that was super interesting. Yeah.
So is there like
lager forever?
Forever. Just keep it in there. Don't even drink it.
Don't even drink it. Just let it sit.
Yeah, just let it sit.
Get a horizontal tank, let that bitch sit.
Yeah.
Is there like, because I've sort of noticed there's been a few times I've had lagers that I unintentionally hung on to much longer than anticipated. You know how it goes. Things get caught up in the fridge or in the stash, whatever. Like, and you start to notice like the difference. Is there a general time, like, does that say like after, if you just want to say like after 6 months, a lager is probably not the greatest. I know that Steam Whistle said on the pod, if it's after 4 months, they go to their distribution places, whether it's grocery or whatever, LCBO and all that, and they'll remove it from then. They'll switch it over if it's not sold after 4 months. So I'm like, is there a correlation between, which I think is what you were saying, Zach? Is it like if you do 8 weeks lagering, does it last for 4 months? If you do 12 weeks lagering, does it last for 6 months? Is there anything like that that correlates?
I think so much of it depends on your processes. It's really hard to say, like generally.
Gotcha.
Like depending on what you're doing in the cellar, like how those beers are packaged, that's going to make a huge difference. But like I don't 6 months is a long time for any of those beers. I think they can still be good for sure, like sitting cold 6 months.
Right.
But I don't know if they're going to be peak at that point, even if they're like super well, like even if your process is like super dialed in. So yeah, 6 months is a long time. But
what is the optimal time do you guys think for, say, I know we talk about haze and I know that's super short. Say for a lager, when should a lager be consumed by typically? Is it like, typically speaking, because I guess you can only speak generally, is it like 3 months? Anything more than that, it's like, probably not going to be optimal.
Tough to say, man. Like I think if you're doing your job in the cellar and you're giving it you're going slow and cold and you're giving it all the time that it needs, it should be pretty peak at packaging. And it'll just, for me, like, I don't think it's really going to get much better from that generally, but it'll last a long time. You know, like the peak will last a long time, like a lot longer than like a heavily hopped IPA or something like that. You know, so like if you're doing like a nice long lagering time with the pills or whatever, by the time that you package it, it should be like top, but that top should last quite a long time. So you should that top might still be pretty damn close to the top after 2 months or 3 months if it's stored correctly and you packaged it with like low DO and all that kind of thing. Yeah,
that's good. No, that's good to know. Like a few months is really what you're saying. Okay, is it the same then? And I'm saying this because of the most recent beer, like you guys did the BreWskey, which was called Intubation, 6.8 BreWskey, which very, very cool. How do you guys feel about that as far as, because I find that BreWskeys last way longer than haze, like way longer. Like I could probably, depending on who it's from, kind of drink a BreWskey that's between 4 and 6 months and not really be an issue. When I say not be an issue, and I almost feel like I'm being so generous because I feel like I consider myself a bit of a date code princess with all this stuff. I really like just fresher beer, but for BreWskeys, I just find they just kind of just pretty chill for longer. And it maybe because I'm not as maybe there's like certain off flavors that maybe I'm not sensitive to or something like that. But do you guys have a preference for Intubation being your first West Coast? Is it the same time frame as your IPAs?
I would say it is the same. I would give it maybe a week more, but not necessarily
Nothing
more
crazy.
than that, than our regular hazy IPAs. Only because, I mean, I would give it that extra week, maybe two, because there is a little less residual sugar in them. They do finish a little drier, so I guess you would be like, as the sharpness, as the edges start to round, like you won't get as much of that sweetness that will come out in terms of bigger hazy IPAs. But like for me, West Coast IPAs are like, they're so aromatic, and it's all about, again, those volatile, the pop when you crack the cans open, that is extremely fleeting. Like it's those same kind of compounds that you get in any kind of IPAs, and they're packed with them in the same content, if not in the same amounts, if not even more. So like, I would drink definitely a West Coast in order to maintain that kind of special thing that you get from them when you crack open that can when it's relatively young. I would drink that as at the same pace as quick as possible, because yeah, again, they just have that thing that is, when they're fresh, they just pop and they're brilliant and they're beautiful. And if you wait, they just continue to dull. And dull is not necessarily bad. I mean, obviously, it's not a great description for anything, but as those edges start to dull, you don't get necessarily, because the body's not as big, you don't get necessarily that sweetness that you might get from leaving a hazy IPA in the fridge for 6 months, you know. But at the same time, those other special things do disappear.
Yeah, that pine, that resin, that kind of like punchy, like hot presence over the malt, and the malt does become that sticky, kind of what it does with haze, like that sticky fucking weird thing that it does after a while.
Yeah, and it's not accentuated by having more body like hazy IPA does, so it becomes a little less intense. So you might be able to last another week or so, but in general, no, like I think it should be drank quick.
Good to know.
The most extreme example of that, I guess, would be a wet hop beer. Uh, this is the type of beer that, like, if we had, like, I guess, the spectrum of IPAs, if you had hazy IPA on one end, that needs to be like, it can be kind of rough at the beginning, needs to be drank relatively quickly. I would even go further and say that, like, wet hop IPA is even, like, it disappears even quicker than that, and then West Coast is right there with it. But, like, yeah, that I guess would be my gauge. There is that special thing that makes wet hops so great. It just disappears scary fast, honestly. Like,
No, that's a great point. I got Sierra Nevada Celebration from Buffalo last week, 2 weeks ago. And I remember it was either I read it somewhere or Matt from Tooth and Nail in Ottawa, because they do their hop hugs, which is like a dedication to it. And I think he was saying, no, you gotta drink that shit like quick, or it's fucking gone. Like, you think haze is bad, like, this is way worse. So I was like, oh, I think I learned this like last year. I didn't know. And yeah, the fresh hop beers just disappear, which is crazy. I wouldn't have expected it, but I guess if you think about just the properties of just that fresh off the vine, like, hops that are poured into this beer that are rushed into those type of beers to get them into cans, it's just like, yeah, inherently the whole, just every part of the process is kind of rushed. So you just like, just fucking get it going, let's get it going, it's going. So I'm like, yeah, makes sense, man. That's
it's
a
that,
point.
like, weird, like, resinous cannabis thing that pops so well and is so good in wet hop beers.
So good.
That just disappeared. It's so volatile. It just disappears so quickly. Almost when you crack the can to, like step away from the can and walk back and go back and smell it, and you're like, that smells differently. And I guess that's kind of similar to when it's the West Coast. Like, our West Coast, we put Spectrum in it, and for future West Coast, we plan on continuing to put different
Mosaic,
hop
Spectrum,
extracts and
and
different
Strata.
things. Yeah, that's it. Products like that too, they have that kind of, what I find has a kind of a similar principles as the wet hops, with that just that bit of that stickiness that it gives to it, that does dissipate.
Interesting. I mean, that's really cool to know. Do you guys think that you make Westies different to other West Coast IPA producers because of your haze proclivities that makes them be required to be consumed sooner? Or am I sort of assuming longevity to other beers that maybe isn't necessarily accurate? Or even forget the last part, because how would you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think do you make your Westies? Because, like, okay, like Sankey and Baron up in like in Gatineau there in Alma, like, their Westies, I feel like I've drank them shits like 4 to 6 months and they're completely fine to my palate. Maybe less punchy than they were originally, but completely crushable. From your Westies, do you think, and this is just a random question, do you make them in a way, in the same way that you make your haze, so that maybe they could be just like, they require quicker consumption because of how you sort of leverage the hops and all that stuff? Is it like production things?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I would probably say that we're just not necessarily doing it differently, because I know, like, when Ryan and I went for hop selection out west, like, when I'm thinking of, like, how I want a West Coast IPA, I'm thinking back to, like, that moment when we were surrounded by hop fields, in Yakima, uh, drinking. It was wet hop West Coast IPAs. Well, they don't call it West Coast IPAs; they just call it IPA. But it was wet hop IPAs, fresh hop, or whatever you want to call it, and we were, like, blown away by this. It just is.
So good.
These, like, crystal clear glasses, super drinkability, but man, the nose, it just blows in your face. I guess the experience helps it too, but when we're trying to do that style, we're thinking about that, and It's like that's what we want to recreate. That being said, maybe the fact that we are where we are and we are the type of brewery that we are, we do have this extreme obsession with hops, um, over drinkability, I guess. I'm looking for that pop, I'm looking for it to explode and just like blow my mind. So obviously, West Coast, it has to be more drinkable than hazy IPA. It changes everything recipe wise, but at the same time, like back to your point of process, and if it has a correlation to our hazy IPA, I would say absolutely it does. Our dry hop technique is the exact same. Um, our method for certain aspects of it are very very similar. Our whirlpool is the same. Same techniques that we do for the hazy stuff. It's just that we want that pop. We need that to have that like explosion. So that's where I guess the similarity would be.
That's dope, man. I like that. I like the consistency of approach throughout the styles with hop forward beers, or extra hoppy ales, as we're saying, in the brewery. I think that's really consistent to the brand. And I know we've like hopped on this fucking subject for quite some time, but I don't know. I find it extra interesting coming from dudes like yourselves who do this for a living and make this stuff, and I'm just like, all right, like exploring all the different angles of it, because there's no just like baseline. This is what is good. If you're gonna drink a New England IPA, drink it before X, and then blah blah blah. Every single brewery has their own take on it, and I just feel like because of you guys' pedigree with Bad Bones, with BreWskey, with Wheels, with all the different stuff that you guys are doing, it's like I think it's extra fascinating just to get your takes on it. And then now looking that you did your first Westie, like, is it this week? This week, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's this week's release.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Tomorrow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
As of recording time, so this will come out in a couple of weeks, so to be
Yeah.
long gone by the time the folks listening. But I just think it's dope, and that's why I was really curious, because sometimes there's a lot of the times the breweries that would do Westies aren't as deep in the haze as you guys are. And I was curious if there was some sort of a correlation to the process, because maybe a brewery who maybe does a lot of lagers and Westies, which seems to be a correlation, particularly in the West Coast too, maybe either don't do haze or do a little bit of haze. And they don't do it like the way that you guys do it. So then there's like now you guys that are primarily a haze brewery that are now expanding into lagers. In a more consistent way. You've got the Westies, which you're going to start popping off more, and then the stouts, obviously, that you've done some of and you're going to do more of. But that approach, and I just think that's a really interesting thing to hear, because you always want to like keep in mind. And it's impossible for everyone to probably know this, but keep in mind, like whenever you buy a beer from a different brewery, like what is the optimal time for consumption for that brewery? And because there's no like across the board answer. So I appreciate you guys being honest with that. And I think it's really cool for people to hear, just be like, all right, let's aim to drink it within this time. And it's not like they're sitting on shelves at the licensees. So like people are buying them shits, they're drinking them shits quick. I don't think people are really sitting on your stuff, which is nice.
I think if you're buying like an extra, like a heavily hopped ale, you kind of go wrong with just like drink as soon as possible. Like it's easy to be like, okay, I like it 4 days later or 5 days later, but like you say, like it's depends so much on the breweries and everyone's a little bit different. But like most of the time, it's like just drink it. Like drink it as soon as you can, because it's not gonna. Most of the time, it's not gonna get that much better, and it's probably gonna get worse after a while.
And all of this is really explained. So we basically pushed this pod by 3 weeks, and I kept the first bunch of beer. I didn't drink any of them because I was like, just in case. I didn't know what the deal was. I need to pee as well, Zach.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's just pause. We'll come back. Let's pause. And we are back. We are fresh. 3 fresh guys. We're gonna need to do more of these little breaks. I think it's just one of those things. You break the seal and it's over. Everyone understands. New beer time. We're getting into what's my age again. This is I feel like this is like a bit of a, is this the most colorful can you've done?
I mean,
I like
my
it.
sister-in-law is pretty colorful. I'd say
With the
she
most colors on one can, I guess is what I mean.
does
They
a
are.
lot of colors.
Yeah? Maybe I missed
Yeah,
something.
some of them are pretty wild, man. Some of them are, yeah.
I love it. It's so consistent. It's beautiful. Where did this name come from, by the way? Because I mean, some of them are really obvious, so you don't ask them. You know, it's like
Sure.
obviously there's X-rays, there's stretches.
Yeah.
You fucked your pelvis. What's my age again? Is that is this a question
Sure.
that you asked?
So I woke up from the coma, and the first thing that they ask you, well, the first actual thing they asked me is if I tried to do the accident myself. Said, Mr. Huff, did you feel like ending your life? Which is like a pretty
You're like,
deep. He's like, whoa, okay. I was like, no.
no, it's called black
Oh,
ice, my
I
guy.
actually, sorry. Like full disclosure, she said it in French, and I was still pretty out of it. And
I'm an
I just
anglophone.
smiled. I smiled and nodded my head.
Which is what
I
most
read that.
anglophones do when confronted with French. You're like, okay, yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And my wife quickly like intervened and was like, Zach, she wants to know whether you tried to go into the truck, into head-on collision. I was like, no, fuck no.
No, I was making
No.
to make fire beer, dog. What the fuck you thought this was like?
Just gotta
Wow.
get to work. And
That's so
and then-
crazy.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Keep going, sorry.
The next question after that was how old are you? To which I said I was 25, I said.
And you were
And
not
she
25?
said, she said, "Oh, I hate to tell you this, Mr. Up, but you were not 25. You were 30."
Oh, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, so I was like thrown back by that. I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Just to show you the level of like confusion when you wake up from a coma. You're like trying to, all the pieces are slowly starting to get back together. You're like not really sure what's going on. Yeah.
Wow.
I can only imagine, dude. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. What a question to be asked. I wanted to ask earlier on. Just before we get into this beer, like, how you doing? You're all good? Like, that should be like the first question,
Yeah.
but how you feeling?
No,
How
I'm
you
good,
doing? I
man.
mean, you look great. Like, so like, even the last part
Yeah,
a
I'm
year ago,
good.
you look fucking great, man. Like, good, chilling, healthy, shit's moving good.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure because it's,
Can't complain.
so we can ask for. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that context because that is funny, but in like a dark way.
What we do, man. That's what it's all about.
Every time every time I see your stuff, I usually would tell somebody, or I think in my head, I'm like, Zach and Dave made their mother mad by naming the beers all these things, and I just find it. I feel terrible for your dear mother, but also it's a good troll. It's pretty funny. And obviously you're not doing it to piss your mother off. You're doing it because it's the thing, and it's a year later, and you haven't ran out of names.
No, we still keep wrecking her every beer release.
Oh, that poor lady. I hope she's doing it. Is she okay? How's she holding up? Is she just?
She's good.
She's okay. Okay, as long as she's not
she's
just
good.
wanting to strangle you most of the time.
Well, that goes without saying.
Well,
when you got three boys, like Ryan will soon. Well, I'm sure he's already finding out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hourly.
Jeez, just not now. We're on the off hours, the sleeping hours.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus Christ. Well, this gem is 6% with Motueka, which I don't even like. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to get it. I'm gonna get into it.
That was good. That was good.
Okay, say it again.
Motueka.
Okay, I'm gonna say because I want to be like people see me and they'll be like, "Oh, like you live next to New Zealand, you know how to say it." So I want to say it like good, like Mutueka. Okay, I'm gonna say it quick. Okay,
That's
beautiful.
nice.
I appreciate you, bro, because I want to respect the culture. And Southern Cross, which obviously is on the flag. This little, these little 5 stars here. If you see that, it typically means if someone has these tattooed, it typically means they're a racist. But unfortunately, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's on both of our flags. Yours is red, ours is not.
Yeah, you got two. You got too many stars there, but otherwise it's looking all right.
I need one extra star. We have the southern. We have the southern. Actually, oh yo, fuck,
Yeah.
you don't have this shit.
No.
Fucking shouts to New Zealand.
Get it
This
out of there.
star
I don't wanna
is
see
called. That's the Southern Cross. No, hold on. This is the Southern Cross. What's this one called? A Commonwealth Star.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, sorry. I've had this is my fourth hazy IPA. And 2 of them were doubles and didn't even have any intro beers. This is straight it. This is the Southern Cross, this little thing here.
Yeah.
Which is what the hop is now.
That's beautiful. That I like.
Is this called the Commonwealth Star? Do you know, or you wouldn't even know?
No.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've lived here too long. I forget. Whatever. Some Aussie will comment and be like, "Oi, dickhead, that's what it is." So that's the hop that it's named after. And with that, gentlemen,
Boys.
cheers to Zach's mother in the most respectful, positive way, and I hope she's doing great.
Mrs. Heuff.
Oof, Mrs. Heuff, glorious. Oof. And how fresh is this one? Since we're talking about freshness,
same time as
X-ray.
2 weeks.
To 3. 2 to 3
weeks. Yeah.
Okay. This is still quite punchy and green to me. This will last weeks in my head.
Yeah, this
Maybe
one had a
more
pretty nice bitterness to it too, so that definitely helps to keep that backbone going.
I love it. I'm getting the lime, that Motueka lime. Southern Cross. What are the characteristics of that hop? Do you guys know off the top of your heads?
Yeah, sure. So for me, Southern Cross is, I kind of refer to it as like New Age Simcoe, and I don't know if anyone would can validate this or anyone thinks like this, but so I find it has that same kind of piney grapefruit thing that Simcoe has that is fantastic, but with the same New Zealand style, that like tropical fruit, passion fruit, all of the stuff that new New Zealand hops that everyone's using has. So for me, it's like a good blend of both worlds, you know.
Okay, that's an interesting. So it's a New Zealand version of Simcoe.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great take because I kind of feel like there's going to be like a bit of a context for it. I feel like I'm seeing Southern Cross used in a lot of haze, typically more so than Westies.
Yeah, because it has all that like tropical fruit to it. But for me, there's just a bit of that dank pine thing that Simcoe has that makes it like, and zest. Like I get grapefruit zest from it too, which I don't get from a lot of New Zealand hops. I don't think any New Zealand hops. Yeah, and I get that strong with the Southern Cross.
It's cool hop.
Yeah, it is cool. I feel like it's not used
it's
a ton and definitely doesn't have the profile of like, not profile as in the fruits and stuff, but the actual like the hype that some other hops get. Do you guys think it could sort of, is it a supplementary hop, or is it kind of like a, single hop kind of shine on its own kind of thing?
Well, I mean, so far we've only used it as supplementary, but I think it's on par to do. I think we'll do a single hop of it very soon because it merits it, and I think that it has so many layers to it that it would be really cool as a singular hop. As a 100% Southern Cross, I think would do really, really nicely. But no, so it doesn't have at the same time. like you couldn't compare it to like a Nelson Sauvin or like a Motueka or a Citra, which we use as a base in a lot of our hops.
Okay.
But that being said, I think it's got enough legs to be 100%er.
Interesting. And using Citra as the base in a lot, is there a particular reason why you rock with Citra for that?
Well, so we use Citra often for consistency, but also because um, there's just like there's something about Citra that has the characteristics that you recognize already. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it makes it like almost like a good, like let's say I was just gonna throw you cool hops, but you don't necessarily are that familiar with them. It just seems like it's just someone throwing things at you in the dark. But if there is a base of Citra there, you have something to stand on. You have like something you can recognize
Hmm.
right off the bat. You're like, oh, okay, I know this. I know that I like this.
Mm.
And then I introduce something else to you, something that might be a little newer, a little more uncommon for you, a little more strange, in the experimental sense, but something that you might be a little less accustomed to. I think that having that Citra there makes it a little more comforting.
That's interesting. Company, eh? Shit, that makes sense, man. Like it's like a familiarity with people for people who aren't maybe used to all these experimental different hops, which experimental is actually an unfair word, but just newer to some folks. Even though it seems like, my people had a pretty stronghold on hops in the late 2010s, and
Yeah,
then
B hop.
we fucking like, yeah, Galaxy just basically dominated everything, and then all of a sudden Ryan's mates came through and just took over the game, and then my mates were just left with their pants down, just like, guys, what about us? And we're like, fuck you. What don't we have? And it's just, it is what it is. And it's almost like I remember going back pre-COVID. I haven't been back since COVID, but Ryan and I were talking about that off air because it's so goddamn far and it's such a whole ordeal. But
You haven't been back to Oz since COVID?
I went 2016, 18, and 19.
Oh shit!
And
I missed
yeah,
that. That's a while, man.
it's fine because I did a similar thing to you. I moved here in 2010, went back for the first time in 2016, so it was quite a while. Just like you were telling me that you had your little trip, and I started getting into a bit of a rhythm, and then COVID fucked me, and I enjoyed going back at that time, but now I'm like, I'm 44 years old, dude. I don't want to do no fucking economy bullshit for 100 billion years on a plane. Like I want to go back on my own terms a little bit more. But I remember going back and exploring the beer scene in those, particularly 18 and 19, and being like, it was fascinating to me because seeing how quickly the Aussies was, specifically the Australians, were adapting to what was happening in Canada and the US. And they were like really quickly kind of like learning, I guess, because everything's online. People were coming to visit, they were talking, they were getting better and better. And then they also got the New Zealand beers, and the New Zealand beers were arguably, without going there in the peak time, were superior to the Australian beers a lot of the time, particularly in haze. And this was still when Galaxy and all that shit was popping. So since then, I imagine that like breweries out, because I remember being like, y'all are just using Galaxy like it's nothing. Like they just were just throwing it in everything and not even thinking about it. And I imagine now it's the same deal, just throwing Mutaka and fucking Rawaka and like Nelson and Peacherine and everything like it's whatever, bro. It's just, yeah, it's here. Like I don't even know how much they understand. They must understand how crazy it is. But yeah, it's incredible to me how much the New Zealand hops just took over everything. And it's sort of like, if I'm going to drink an IPA, if I'm going to be proactively looking for those New Zealand hops now. And it's just, I don't see anybody even coming remotely close to matching, let alone taking over what's happening in New Zealand as far as hops are concerned. Because it's not, even at Australia's peak, we had Galaxy, Vic, Secret, Ella, Topaz, Eclipse, a few other joints. but New Zealand, there's tens of different ones that we're all excited about. That make phenomenal New England IPAs. I don't see any other hop growing area even touching it. Is that a fair take to both of you guys? I know obviously Ryan, you may be biased, and it's okay if you are because I think you should be. But like, does it feel like that the Kiwi hops are just fucking like it's just it like nothing's close? What's coming close to it?
I think you should keep an eye out for Kazakhstan in 2026, man. Those hops coming out of there are gonna be insane.
Let's go, yo! Any of the stand countries? Let's go, all of them.
All the stands.
All the stands just pumping. What's the country's name? Fucking Borat.
Or at
What was the country?
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Mm-hmm.
You said
Kazakhstan. Yeah.
Kazakhstan. Look, I'm just saying, man. Kazakhstan hops.
Yeah,
Here it comes.
it's pretty amazing what's happened in the last like 5-10 years with the New Zealand hops. Honestly, like they, like Nelson and Motueka and stuff have been around for a while, but like just especially like with freestyle in the last like 5 years, like how
less.
much just absolutely just proliferated and kind of gone everywhere and really kind of taken a hold of the sort of the zeitgeist of all the Hoppy brewers. It's pretty nuts, man. It's really crazy what they've been able to do. Mad respect. Well, I am biased, but very, very cool.
And rightly so.
Yeah, I also respect a lot their entire business, like their method of producing hops for me speaks very loudly with how we produce beer. It's not necessarily about getting the beer into or the hops into everyone's hands. It's really about the product that we do and making sure that whoever does get it in our hands, it's something else, That's something I respect them. I feel like they follow that same kind of ethos.
Seem like they're just pushing.
Not to say that other hop brewers don't.
Yeah. Well said from both your side. This hop zeitgeist I think is such a cool. That could be the episode name. I got a few little ideas here. I've been writing down as you guys say cool shit. There's something that's it, and like only getting the beer into the right people's hands, and it's the same as getting the hops into the right brewers' hands, which is why I think they're particular. From what I understand, can I actually, even before I say this, what are your favorite hops, you guys? Like either if it's one hop or if you've got like a tier list, like asking your favorite rappers or whatever.
If I had to pick one, it's Nelson.
Nelson?
Yeah.
Great fucking call.
Like just overall.
Okay. Love it. Zach, you got one? Or a few?
I don't think I could say one, honestly. Like if you look at the list of the beers that we've done, there's no hops that we put in there that is not things that I would consider in my list of favorite hops,
Gotcha.
Like it's not like you'll ever see us brew a beer with I'm gonna throw a hop under the bus, and I'm not gonna feel good about it, but I'm just gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna do an easy one that everyone throws under the bus. I'm gonna do it. Sabro. It's not like we brew a beer with Sabro.
Sabro is kind of a nice supporting hop these days. It seems like.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
But I also understand.
I told you I wouldn't feel good about it.
I feel like it's a fair. If you're gonna throw any hop under the bus, it's kind of the one to throw under the bus. Fucking poor Sabro, man.
Yeah, poor Sabro. But that being said, is we only really brew beers with things that we love.
You love, right.
Again, it comes back to that, like making sure that every can that someone grabs is something that they like. They spent their hard-earned dollars on, and it's something that they know that is going to be the top of everything is going to be in that can. There's not going to be anything that we're trying to pass because we took too much of a contract or something like that. It's just like all in all, some of my favorite hops. So long story short, probably Nelson, but I couldn't say Exactly.
Gotcha. That's okay. And it was just kind of a random question, just since we're talking about it. I think Peacherine is the greatest hop to ever have been grown. I don't think anything even comes remotely close. I've seen people use it as supplementary hops, and I'm like, how dare you? That should be like a front and center single hop every fucking time. But whatever. It's at the point where like we're so spoiled for hops right now, particularly like the PNW stuff. Obviously, anything from Yakima is always exceptional. Citra, like you said, Zach, is kind of like the beautiful base that's like that familiarity point that everyone sort of knows and is, mosaic and things like that. But god damn it, these Kiwi hops are just world changing stuff. And then even like, Leketch recently did like 4 different beers with 4 different lots of peacherine, because that's how much they're dividing it up into, like, hey, these 4
That's
different
sick.
lots from the same farm. I haven't drank it. I'm gonna have them this weekend.
You're just showing
Insane.
off.
Like, it's because peacherine. I kind of sell my dog for a peacherine beer. I wouldn't. I'd trade pets.
Peacherine is like a really tough hop to get. Like in general,
Yeah.
like it's very, very small batch as well, which is something we can relate to. But a little funny story is I was able to get my
Please.
hands on a small amount of peacherine. Like I'm talking about like a couple months back, before I had my contract for peacherine, which now we have, so we're doing okay. But
Okay.
anyways, I had a tough time to get that. And I was saving it. I was saving it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna save it for like a good opportunity. Here we go. And I had the Sornum guys come for a collab. They were
Let's go.
we got the whole recipe start to finish. We're good. We'll say, okay, we'll figure out the dry hop when you guys get here. They come, we're drinking beers, we're having a good time, brewing the beer. Beer's going fantastic, everything's going great. And then we start talking about hops, and I'm like, okay, so guys, and I'm like, oh, I'm all excited, like I'm
You're
like,
ready to drop it on
I
them.
think they brought, yeah, exactly. They brought like 6 dudes for the collab. I'm one. At this time, I was one guy in the brewery. I'm alone here, and we had done a collab at their place a little bit earlier on, and I was like a little kid in this big brewery. They have people run around everywhere. Everywhere you go, you're bumping into some staff member, and you're like, okay, this is a different beast. They come to me, and I'm literally brewing the beer that we're doing the collab on, and it's a tiny little brewery, and so I'm all giddy, and I'm like, okay, guys, here we go, dry hop, peacherine. And I'm waiting for like them to be like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And they turn to me and they're like, meh. And I'm like, what? Like, what, dudes, guys, peacherine, meh. He's like, yeah, we recently did a beer with it. We didn't love it. I was like, okay. Let's do it. We're gonna go all in on it. We're gonna do it with Nelson Sauvin, freestyle Nelson Sauvin, freestyle peacherine. It's gonna be fantastic. Let's do it and give it a go. And it was incredible. The beer came out. They were all very, very happy with it, and happy that I think I might have changed their mind on whatever it was that they weren't convinced on. I think they became sold. So
That's doing the Lord's work, sir.
Mhm.
I love that.
Well
Dude,
done.
that's fucking hilarious. Anyway, I get it. I have heard some blasphemous conversations about peacherine in the past, and I'm not here for it. I don't really. Everyone who's used it, so we had our 10th anniversary earlier this year, and we did anytime with people like, all right, so what do we want to do for the hops? I'm like, peacherine. And Nate, obviously my co-host, he's off now, but he was like, just like, dude, fucking relax. I'm like, no, we could try for featuring every time. And not everyone could get it. And it wasn't always, but whenever it was used, it was the best of the best. So your excitement was not ill-placed. I think it was, I'm very happy that maybe you might be responsible for showcasing the quality of that hop to the Meso dude. I guess I would probably give credit to Guillaume from Leketch for kind of popularizing the hop within Quebec and then into Ontario, because I don't know anyone who was using it before he was. And
Oh, I mean, I would give Guillaume props on all
And
freestyle
honey.
hops in Quebec.
He's the man.
Oh, word.
And honey.
Shouts to Guillaume.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
for real.
so we did our first collab with ever with any brewery. Our first collab was with him at with Le Ketch,
Duo Capitan
and
Zack.
he no. Our first collab at our brewery, it was
Oh, I'm sorry. He came to
Jaws
you
of
and brought
Life.
the honey and oh, dude, we had that fucking the first pod, no?
Absolutely.
We
So
we
we
did.
did honey
Oh,
from Dunham,
yeah.
and he brought his hops. He brought his. I was maybe 3 months into the game, right? And hops, I was grabbing what I could grab when I could grab.
Of
And
course,
he
because
was
you're so
like,
new.
let's
Yeah.
do, yeah, that's it. So he's like, let's do Motueka. And I was like, meh. I was like, honestly, I've done a lot of Motueka in my career, and I'm like, I'm not super down. He's like, don't worry, I'm gonna bring you a bag of freestyle Motueka, freestyle Nelson. You can use your Citra, and we'll do a thing. And he brings this bag and he cracks it open, and it has this like in lime green, not even lime. It's like highlighter color green is the color of the hops. Like you could see from the distance that like this hop is not like anything I've ever seen. I was like, okay. This is weird. And it smells great, obviously, but that's not always like the whole story. And you just put that stuff in a beer, and the beer becomes milky white, and it's just like
Mm,
that 7-Up soda lime thing
mm.
that has become a big
Stop
part
it.
of our beers now. So
Yeah.
he definitely he spread the word. He's the gospel for freestyle hops in Quebec. That's for sure.
Shouts to
Fuck yeah.
Guillaume.
Shouts to
Man.
Yeah.
Guillaume. And I think he might have been also the dude to put Ontario dudes on because I heard about Leketch from Badlands and I saw he did a collab with him. And I texted Troy, I'm like, dude, what's the deal? And he's like, I don't know. They sent me some beer and they were great. So we did a collab. And I asked Nate, this was like a year or two ago. And Nate was like, yeah, I've been to Leketch because Nate's family, his mother in law, lives in BreWskey, which isn't too far from Saint Flavie.
Yeah, it's close. Eh?
Yep.
Right, 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And he was like, I've been there a bunch of times. It's kind of pedestrian. It's pretty mid. He's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Troy told me it was fire. So he's like, all right, I'll go. And he went. He's like, dude, this is fucking amazing. What is happening? And ever since then, like, it's just been like these dudes are just like, I feel like they've really like maybe Guillaume came into Leketch because it was a business I think that existed before he came around, and then sort of turned it around and turned it into that sort of hot powerhouse that it is, and now seems to influence both provinces, which is a beautiful thing. It's so cool to hear these stories about how like the hops sort of like have infiltrated particularly freestyle, because I didn't know what it was. I remember seeing freestyle. I'm like, oh, is this like a format, like Incognito or
Mm.
Cryo or whatever? I was like, oh, is this like a thing? He's like, I think I asked Troy, and he was like, oh no, it's just like a brand, like a farm. I'm like, oh, okay, because you didn't always see the hop farm before a hop. You didn't go like X farm Citra. It was always like freestyle Motueka. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what the fuck does that mean? It's so funny how that sort of like become such a thing, and now it's like the goat in beer across the world. It's from an island of 4 million people and 150 million sheep. Shout out to y'all.
That's right.
Sorry, Ryan. That's all I knew about New Zealand growing up, is they had a lot of sheep, and then everyone used to make sheep jokes when we were like 8.
That's
like,
pretty much it, honestly.
I like sheep though.
That's all you
And
need.
when I went to New Zealand, I took photos with sheep. Since I saw a sheep, I was like, "Yo, get me a photo." Like, I need to.
Cute.
It's so beautiful. Australia was brown as fuck, and New Zealand was green and luscious. It was so beautiful. So shouts to that. But yeah, man, it's so cool. It's so cool to see that, and then the different approaches with hops to the beers, and you guys obviously being like sort of, this is your whole essence and everything that you sort of hang your hats on. It's cool. It must be pretty cool and fun to kind of, from you guys' perspective, to that story with Guillaume, when that was a year ago, to meet for and be like, all right, get put onto this. And you're like, oh, okay, shit, all right, and just being like trying to be at the bleeding edge, as they say, of hot products. There's so many new different things that are coming, the abstract stuff, and like all these different types of hot products that hyper boost, dyna boost, all these different shit that like is that like is that a big thing for you guys to sort of like experiment with the new things that are out? And even obviously, Ryan, you haven't been there long enough to potentially know, but just generally for both you guys speaking within the beer industry, like just being exposed to these cool new hot products and just being like, all right, let's just try this and see if this could replace this and maybe increase our efficiency by X% because we still use a T90s for X and da. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to a lot of the conferences and stuff that are about those advanced hop products. And for certain things like the West Coast IPA, like I'm super into those, like the like the incognitos and the spectrums, and
Sick.
like I these type of styles I find like really like you could throw things at them and it'll just like increase that hop like pungency, which I find is great. But I also, for like our main style, which is just extra hoppy ales, like I don't try to go too experimental. I'm not super interested in like trying to tweak different like things that might change different parameters. For me, it's really about keeping a level of consistency. So I'm not all about like I I know for a lot of breweries that is a thing. It's just like experiment, experiment, experiment. But again, it comes back to the point of people having less and less of disposable income to drop money on craft beer. And so I really want when they pick it up to like it to be that thing that I know, and I know it's done well, and I know it's done well every time. And so just throwing new products at it for me, even though my system's small and like a lot of uh, a lot of the companies, they're like, hey, you got a small system, you want to try this, you want to try this, you want to try this. And although like I there is that little geek part of me that's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to try that. But there's the other part of me that's just like, but I also really want to just figure out how to master my craft and what I'm doing. And that's for me is the most important, is to make the best beer, not necessarily by trying to create better efficiencies or things like that. That's not my priority.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on that, Ryan, as far as just generally the hot products and stuff like that?
I mean, it's always interesting, like what's coming out. Like you want to keep tabs on it, and you want to, like Zach was saying, you want to try stuff. It's tough to know sometimes if something's like a gimmick or, like how is it going to make your beer better? I guess is always the question. Is it like there's numbers, there's like there's efficiencies, and there's margins, and you want to try to optimize both. But at the end of the day, like, is it going to make your beer better? And like Zach was saying, for what we're doing at Bad Bones, it's kind of good to just sort of stick with what we've been doing. I think at this point, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'm always interested to try things, but it's tough to do it on sort of on our scale, I guess.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. It's I totally get it. I feel there's so many different products, and it's like, oh, what, I guess part of it is just trying to figure out, like, what gets you what end result, and can something give you better yield whilst also retaining, because obviously you want this milky haze, like you mentioned before, Zach, when you were using the hops with Le Catch, and just that milky haze is that thing that your consumers are looking for, and I am your consumer. And I'm like, if I'm going somewhere, and that's why I know, like, me and you, Zach, obviously from back, you knew Zach in the porno days, Ryan, when he did the YouTube. Yeah. So that's when I met Zach, and I was like the videos were so beautiful. Like, they were so nice and so well produced. And I'm like, all right, this is, and obviously I knew Derrick at the time, and I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, you guys are out here doing this stuff, going to places that I want to go
Ryan
to.
was in a porno video.
Sure.
Which one?
Oh, not one that we did. Ryan's just been doing pornos for the last.
Gotta pay the bills. Gotta pay the bills.
I've leveraged
No,
some
you
of your
did that.
content. I've leveraged some.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's the category that you're not allowed to go on the website.
Yeah,
It's
YouTube
like locked.
doesn't. You gotta use incognito mode.
Exactly.
Get it? Because it's a hop format. Incognito. Spectrum.
Beer
Incognito.
joke. It's a beer joke.
Beer joke, guys. Beer joke. Senses. Relax.
No, he was in the episode we did with Thick as Thieves. We did a triple IPA, and we brewed it at BreWskey, the brewery that he was talking about earlier.
That's right.
And
I must have seen that then, because I watched them all, because there wasn't many people in Quebec or Ontario really doing beer content like that. But it was
Zach and I both look about 30 years younger, I think. If you watch
well, neither of y'all have gray hair, so shouts to you boys. You look you're looking clean. I respect it. It's sick.
I got hit by a truck, and Ryan got hit by 3 children.
Yeah, that's about the same.
I got hit by a social media agency and a dog, and look at me. You guys are doing all right. You guys are doing good. So a truck and 3 children are better than an agency and a dog.
One foot in front of the other, man. One foot in front of the other.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Some people, you get it on, or you don't. I can't remember what the fuck we were talking about.
Like going to the last beer?
Yeah, let's get to the last beer. Fuck it. Let's get to the last. What are we doing?
Great.
Oh, it's time. All right, we're gonna pause. We're gonna come right on back, and then we're gonna go last beer. We'll be back. And we are back, and we are getting to a final beer right here. Screws.
Oh, I need my screws.
Get your screws, bro. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't even warn you. This is like sick looking can, dude.
Right on.
Yeah, this is great. This is a 6.5%
Yes, sir.
IPA.
Yeah.
With
extra hoppy ale with Citra, Nelson Bliss, and again Southern Cross.
Extra hoppy?
Oh.
This one?
It's
This
extra
one,
hoppy. Right. It's extra hoppy.
I see.
What's the Nelson Bliss? Excuse my ignorance.
It is Nelson Sauvin, which they pick in what they call the Nelson Bliss process. Essentially, they blend, I think, early pick and late pick of the year, something of the sorts. Essentially, they're altering their picking process to get like. From what I get from it is like more of the fruitier side of Nelson Sauvin and less of the diesel-y side of it.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's smart to...
It's like to maximize fruit, I think. The fruit-forward aspect of it is from what I understand.
Okay. And it's like kind of like a mixture of the lots where they make the T90s and they kind of like squish a bunch of stuff together. Is that kind of?
It's a specific. It's a specific. That they blend like 2 picking times into one. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Is it a? I guess it's not a not the most common. I've definitely heard of it, but I can't say I've seen it a lot.
Not super common, but they like early picking times, like mid picking times and late picking times is like a pretty big thing in your freestyle hops like options when you pick and choose hops. obviously this changes your flavor profile of the hops like pretty. It makes a pretty drastic difference in the hop when you pick it. So when we were doing selection with them this year, they tell you when things were picked, and at a certain point you start to get like you kind of like get different similarity, like you start to get certain similarities where you're like, okay, so the late pick stuff has X similarities, and the earlier stuff has a different characteristic. It's like it definitely adds a whole other dimension, which is really cool when you're picking hops.
Interesting. That's pretty sick, man. I love it. Citra, Nelson Bliss, Southern Cross. So I mean, this is like dank citrus, stone fruit. It's like pithy. Like it's like a touch of like kind of piney bitterness, something going on there. Is that fair?
Fair, yeah.
Very smooth, juicy, sweet, balanced, 6.5%. Which personally is my favorite sort of money zone for single IPAs. Do you guys feel any way about a single IPA optimals? Because that was one thing I forgot to ask about earlier, was that a lot of breweries in Canada, not even in America, would have like 6.5% singles, 8.2% doubles, etc. Maybe it's 5.2% pale ales. Do you subscribe to any of that? Or because I know we had an 8.2 and an 8 with the doubles, and we had a 6 and a 6.5% single. And what was the one was the outlier, and another 6.2, and then 6.2 on top of that. Do you have any sort of like a take on this is the single IPA zone and this is that, like, because obviously like it sounds like there's a bit of a variance between different beers. Is that intentional? Is it sort of like whatever it comes out at? Is there any,
I tend to dance around a little bit the percentages. It's not, for me, it's not necessarily important exactly where it lands, and I mean definitely over 7% for me no longer is in the single range, but at the end of the day, I market it's all an extra hoppy ale for me, so it's not.
right?
I don't try to get confined too much by
ABV.
ABV. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about saturation. It's all about making sure that it has the most hop saturation in it, regardless of its ABV, right?
Makes sense. It's interest. Okay, that's dope, and I think I agree over 7%, because in the States it's fucking all over the place. There's zero consistency. Where I find as here, there's a little bit more consistency. I mean, but you get 7.1, you get 7.5, you get like these different sort of zones, and I don't know if it's just how the beer comes. Excuse me, how the beer comes out. But there's also, like I said, there's breweries that do like 6.5, 8.2, boom, that's it. Gosh, I'm hiccuping like a bitch. And I find that
I
like,
try not to follow that too much.
okay,
I try not to follow any like mold.
okay,
It should be that the beer is just like a big beer or a small beer. For me, anything under 8% is a smaller beer. For anything over 8% is a bigger beer. Is that simplifying it too much?
I don't disagree. So essentially, what you're saying is under 8% is a single IPA, over 8% is a double IPA.
Would be, yeah, yeah. Even the higher ones, I get people that say to me like, "Oh, so you're gonna sell your 9.5 is more expensive because it's a triple," and it's like, well, no, it's got the same hop saturation. It's massive beer, but so is everything that's under 9, and it's like.
So a triple is 10
Not to let
plus.
Yeah, like if I had to lump it in a category, I would say that, yeah. But really,
Fuck.
it's all just extra hoppy ale, man.
I mean, you've kind of got a pretty sweet way of managing that, because otherwise it's so subjective. I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I think under 8% single, over 8% double, over 10% triple. It's pretty simple, but every brewery seems to do it slightly different. There's a few that do it the
Absolutely.
same, and it's kind of like it is
Absolutely.
what it is. Very
At the
subjective,
end of
but
the day, it's all sort of marketing techniques, So like even session IPA doesn't mean anything. It's not like
Yeah.
all these things they're not really like set in stone. Like if we really were to try to do that, then the BJCP would have to change their rules like every month. And I think the last one that they edited was like 4 years ago or something. So it's like these
right.
things don't they don't move as quick as the consumer does. So it doesn't really it doesn't do anyone any favors to try and create these rules in which this needs to fall into that and that needs to fall into that and that needs to fall into that. At the end of the day, it's like it's all kind of marketing.
Yeah, marketing and arbitrary, essentially.
Yeah,
Like, you're just making
exactly.
shit up. There's no
That's
like
it.
right or wrong answer. It's just whatever. I always find it if I see like 7.5% double IPA, I'm like, ah, really though? Like, because they might be charging double IPA money, kind of what you were talking about. Not that pisses me off. It's not like it's a massive difference, but it starts to become arbitrary and therefore, like you said, marketing. And it's like, okay, well, if 7.5 marketing, and now you're saying it's double IPA, and a double IPA is worth X much more than a single IPA, then I don't know. Maybe a 4 pack is going to add up to be a lot different
Sure. Sure. I
situation.
remember in the beginning, I had people message me. They were saying like, "Yo, you know that it's weird that you're charging the same price for a triple IPA as the same as you're charging for a single IPA." And
Oh,
I was like, okay, I guess it could be weird, sure, but that's what it is. And eventually, I created a bit of a difference in price just to make it easier for the stores to like know what they should charge when. But ideally, everyone would just charge kind of the lowest that they can to to make it so that
mhm.
people buy it as much as they, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's where I see the disconnect there is like, I see it from a different angle. I see it more as a creator and
like
less
a
as a
like a
store.
yeah, that makes sense. It's an interesting one. Is there any sort of like like standard model in Quebec, whereas like between this ABV and this ABV is single and this is double? Is there like that in Quebec at all, or is it kind of just like free for all?
Good question. I don't know. You got an idea, in?
I mean, not really. Like there's like like bière extra forte or whatever, like where they actually
Mm,
have designation. So like
Good point.
legally, I guess there is a little bit of that, but in terms of what the breweries are doing, not really.
mm.
To me, 8% is a good barometer. Like it's kind of
That's double enough.
yeah, like I'm kind of with Zach. Like anything over 7 seems like a strong single, but
Mm,
Yeah.
but anything over 8 is for sure double.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
when does that become triple? Is it 10? Because I would say 10 is triple. When you start doing 9.5 and calling it a triple, I'm like, I mean, I get it. I'm not mad at it, but I don't know if I necessarily like,
10 seems right to me.
yeah,
I don't know what
same.
you guys think. Like,
I agree.
yeah, if it's
I,
like a 9.2 and they're calling it a triple, like, doesn't seem.
it's just like a big double.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's a way for people, like you said, to sort of charge more for it, if they are charging more for it. It's
Mm.
yeah, and I wonder if that's an interest. I don't know if there's any other genre of alcohol that has a fucking like a specific like an ABV delineation, whereas like between this and this is this, and between this and this is double, and this is triple. Like they don't really have that, and I wonder if that's like aside from the, was it, beer fort, beer extra fort, like, strong beer, blah, blah, like, because that's like a Canadian LCBO SAQ baseline kind of thing, but I don't know if that's enough, because I think they're quite broad categories from that perspective. Yeah, it's interesting. I find that's like kind of what we were talking about before about the longevity of all the hops and all the different beers, and I feel like the next level of that is kind of like, okay, so what is what? And it was one of the only places I found is probably here, whereas like the breweries that like Counterpart, Badlands, and Third Moon are almost identical with all the time. It's like 5.2, 6.5, 8.2. Pale, single, double, 10% is triple, 11.9 is quad. Boom, easy, done. No one's really discussing it. But I haven't seen that level of consistency, and I think that might just be an unspoken or a spoken thing where one of them might have started it, and then the other ones are like, all right, well, we're here locally, cool, let's do the same as what they're doing. That's pretty cool. But I don't know if that, but you go to the States and every single thing is completely out of whack, and there's zero consistency whatsoever. So it's like, okay. So I don't know if there is maybe there's pros and cons, I imagine, to the consistency.
Every time I go to New Zealand, I'm struck by how low ABV everything is. But their tax system is different. Like the higher the ABV, the more they get taxed. I don't know exactly what the delineation is, but it is quite interesting that like pretty much everything is like 5%, 6% max. Pretty rare to see like an 8% IPA, at least on the shelves. Yeah.
Did they change from there? That's a good point. Did you see that sludge beer, the Garage Project we've talked about yesterday?
No, I missed that.
So they took like the hop sludge from a bunch of different beers and combined it and then put it all into a new beer and then made a hop sludge beer.
We were talking about that yesterday, Bryce.
It was pretty sick. Check it out. Like I even commented on it because I was like, "This is sick. This is a great idea." Because it's just
like reusing hops, I guess.
Like the hop sludge, the green slimy shit from the bottom of multiple batches, and just piff it. And there was like 6 different hops, and they took all of it and they piffed it into a new beer, like a hazy IPA.
Like using it as a dry hop or using it as a. Do they mention?
My guess would be dry hop because it's a sludge. That would be my guess. But they didn't specifically say that. They did a video and they were like showing the dude had like a pint glass full of like green sludgy shit that just looked like T90 completely soaked with beer, and then the beer had been drained out and this was at the bottom of the fermenter. And then they were like, hey, instead of wasting it, how about we put it into a new blend? They called it like Sludge Mania or something like that. It was very clever. And I was like, all right, because Garage Project are exceptional, and you don't really get it out here. So whenever I'm in Australia, I try it, and I'm like, oh, it's
like a hop party guile.
Basically, yeah. So it's like taking the hops. If you did that from all the beers we had tonight, you took that hop sludge, and then you had that shit in like some buckets, and then brewed a whole other beer and then put all of that hop sludge into it. So it's almost like second use. What's it called? Is it called a the beers? It was called like a something penny. Where you would use, you know what I'm talking about? It's like a bit of an old school style. Half penny.
No, it might be called a 2 penny or
I think it's a 2 penny. I think you might be right, dude.
Yeah, I think it's a 2 penny.
Yeah, and it was taking like, I don't know, that wasn't a hop based beer, that was a malt thing. So it was taking extracted malt that had already had sugars taken from it. So maybe you have a beer that made a 6 or 7% malty beer. You take all of that malt, you put it again and does a second run, and maybe it's a 3%, and that's a 2 penny. It's 100%. That's 2 pennies exactly.
Yeah, 2 penny. Yeah.
They were very popular in Quebec like 10 to 15 years ago. Like when I first moved to Montreal.
People did those? Cool.
Dog, like Brewtopia and stuff did that type shit.
Oh shit.
Shouts to what's that street name that starts with C with all the fucking crazy clubs? Crescent Street. Fuck my life.
Extra hoppy 2 penny, Zach?
I'd be down for a BAOS collab for that extra Hoppy 2 penny with only used malts and used hops.
But it's got to be a 3-way collab with Brewtopia.
Obviously.
I'll hit him up. I met the dude from them from a while ago. One of my friends who works at another brewery in Montreal worked for them for a bit, and I met the dude. And I was like, oh, interesting folks.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Do you remember what his name is?
The owner?
Brewer? I mean,
Jordan was the brewer at the time. His name
is
was
he
Jordan.
still the brewer? That's the dude I met. Okay.
You met Jordan? So he worked
sure.
for...
Do you know where he landed?
No, but I think he worked for like a LaBrosse for a bit.
Okay.
And he went to I think he was at LaBrosse, and then he went to Brewtopia. And shouts to Mike from Four Origins. He worked there for a brief period before he was at Four Origins. And so they got us to come in because Brewtopia's I used to go there when I was at McGill. And it was, I didn't know a lot about beer, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, whatever. It's always dark and whatever, the beers or whatever. And then he was like, all right, we got this guy. And Mike was like, yo, like, I'd started this thing, and he was like, yo, come in, check it out, because this guy is working here or whatever. All right. It was definitely better than what it was, but then I don't know what happened after that, because Mike went to Four Origins after that, and that Jordan dude definitely didn't stick around. So I don't know if they got like different brewers to do it, but it's like an institution as a broke Montreal person to go into a place and not drink. No shade, but Boreal Rousse or Saint Ambroise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be like, all right, let's have something different. And you go to Crescent and you go there and you're like, all right, you know.
It's been around a long time now.
Long time.
I'm not mad at it. I respect it, man.
Oh,
It has its place for what it is. We're in different places right now from that, but at the time it did what it needed to do, and it was fun. And
that's what I need to do.
I mean, you also got to consider it's like where it's situated, right? Like it's in front of Mad Hatter's. Does Mad Hatter's still exist? And Hurley's next to it. It's like on one of the busiest streets of Montreal, and it's a brew pub. Like it's pretty wild.
It's kind of cool that's
that terms, right? Like that's like as if you were to put a brew pub in Times Square. Like
great,
pretty fucked up, you know.
And it's and it's affordable. There wasn't too much for students when we used to go there. I was a student, did not have much money. And then even down the street is a Trois Brasseurs as well, like from across St. Catherine, on the other side of Crescent, I believe, was there. So there's like in that general area, I think on Crescent, if you keep going,
there's one on St. Catherine Crescent, I think.
If you go over St. Catherine, then there was one on the corner. If it wasn't Crescent, it was one of the ones nearby. There was like, it wasn't too far.
Maybe Bishop.
Yeah, maybe Bishop, exactly right. So like there was like two mainstream forward brew pubs, which is pretty sick. When my parents in 2012 they came to visit us in Montreal when we moved there in July 2012, and they came a month or two later to visit from Australia. And I took my parents to the Trois Brasseurs on St. Catherine or whatever the fuck it was, because I didn't know shit back then. But I wanted to show Dad and be like, yo, man, we're out here. Check this shit.
The culture.
You know, the culture. I mean, now different time, like not happening. But yeah, it's interesting how much things have changed in the city from back then, where there really wasn't much going on when I first moved there in 2012 to what's happening now. It's just Quebec is just such a glowing, glorious scene that I am so fucking proud to have lived there, and I brag about everything that you guys are doing all the time. I think Quebec and Ontario are just like shining gems of Canada of what craft beer can do. It's so incredible. I really think like what you guys are doing and what you guys are a part of is amazing, man. I think we should be like super proud to be looking back at something like that, like something, no shade to Brewtopia, that's just like an earlier version of where things have come. And Trois Brasseurs are definitely innovating too, but it's, we're in a new era of breweries in Quebec, and it's just I don't know, man, it's
Pretty
so
amazing.
cool. It's
Yeah, it's
incredible.
pretty fucking amazing.
Do you
It's
guys
really, it's
go on,
really
brother?
good beer in Quebec, man. Really good.
Yeah.
Like in a really wide variety of styles and like a lot of influences, and like the level is high here. Honestly,
Oh,
it's good.
it's
Like
not
Montreal,
just good,
Montreal
it's
is some
incredible.
good beer, man. Like all over the place.
I don't want to
Yeah,
even just say
yeah,
Montreal. I
absolutely.
want to say Quebec, and like, you guys in the south, closer to the border, and like it's just overall, and now living in both places multiple times and just seeing, but I'm like, this, it's not even like there's so many, if during COVID when everything shut down, and like you
Mm,
guys probably traveled to the States a bunch, I did, and then it all got shut down. And you're like, all I can drink is Canadian beer right now. And I was in Montreal at the time. Doug, like if I only could drink beer from Quebec and Ontario, what am I missing out on?
right.
It's
We're in good
insane.
shape.
And that was 2020. And this is
Mm,
2025. We're
mm,
in incredible shape, dude. I am so proud of everything that we're doing here. I just feel like, speaking earlier about the Quebec dudes who and Third Moon who went to Europe and that were coming back and talking about how gas people were, like that to me is exciting. And the fact that there's folks in Australia who are asking for this Quebec beers, and then you guys are talking about how you guys are being asked from the European importers for stuff that you couldn't fulfill currently, but hopefully in the future you can. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think we're just such a wonderful place in beer here, and I'm always just like incredibly grateful because I learned about beer. Like I drank beer in Australia, and I drank some cool, unintentionally kind of cool stuff, sort of.
mm.
Probably, what I'm saying? Maybe you did more than me, Ryan, out there, but like there was little creatures and some things like this that little creatures ended up being bought out for like 450 million by
Yeah,
fucking one of
that's
the
right.
the big dogs, and I was drinking them before they got bought out. I thought Little Creatures Pale was this big hoppy thing, and I would be drinking like Quilmes from Argentina and Cristal from Cuba and all this different shit from whatever I could get because I thought I was fancy drinking international lagers. Then I move over here and start to really discover beer, and I'm just like, oh man, like yeah, and just seeing how it's all kind of changed and just where we're at, it's just like it's very encouraging, and I think that like what you guys are doing and really like hanging your hat on haze, and then now you're even expanding. Obviously, you've done the stouts, the crispies, and the haze. I'm sorry, the Westies, which are going to, all of those things are going to be more prolific from Bad Bones moving forward. It's just, I don't know, it's an exciting time in a fucked up time, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like things are inconsistent, like what's gonna happen, but you guys can't keep up. And isn't that a beautiful thing in a time when there's economic inconsistency and people don't really know what's happening? But as a brewery that makes yellow milky beers can't keep up with demand, I just think that's encouraging and just a beautiful thing that we all should be sort of grateful for. And I imagine you guys are incredibly grateful for that you
Totally,
guys have a career doing this stuff.
totally.
Big time. Big time. Yeah, we're extremely, extremely, extremely grateful. It's a pretty crazy thing. There's like obviously many ways to look at the current state of beer in general in the world right now. You could look at it pessimistically. You could also look at it in a positive way. But either way that you look at it, where we're at, we're just happy to be here and to have people that are constantly like loving what we do, and that's something that just absolutely amazing. It's really really something else, and I think that at the end of the day, um, we're gonna keep doing kind of how we're doing. We're not going to try to um, we've been in the industry for a long time. We've seen mistakes that people have made. We're going to just try to do our best to avoid those, not grow too quickly, not expand ourselves into a place where we're not comfortable with, and just keep enjoying the wave that craft beer is in right now. And right now, I feel like it's in a state where it's like people can have the most, people can have the best quality beer that they can have at an accessible rate more now than they can that they've ever had in the history of craft beer, and that's something that's very encouraging for everyone. We follow a certain niche part of that market, but at the end of the day, we're part of a movement that is about great beer all the time, and it's just following that same wave. So I think that's what we're just going to keep focusing on.
Dude, that's awesome. That's
Love it.
exactly it.
Love it.
Go on. I couldn't agree more. I want to ask you guys about the collabs. I feel like I've seen in the last year so many collabs, both on the Bad Bones side and you guys out here collabing with different people. If you guys just want to just maybe speak on, I mean, Ryan, you probably couldn't speak on too much, but just sort of what you guys have sort of worked with. I feel like you've really authentically got the brand out there in the way that your contemporaries do. You've worked with all the people that I would expect to see that little bone on the can for. I've had many, anytime I ever see it, I'm like, I'm getting that beer. Not that I was not going to get that beer, but if it's got a fucking Bad Bones collab on it, then that's enough. That's all I need to see. Talk to us about that, because I feel like you guys have made a real uh, impact in Ontario with the breweries. I feel like people have embraced more so. I wonder if you guys feel this way. I feel like you guys have really made an impact really fast on the scene, both in Quebec and out here, as far as like just everyone being like, oh, I'm doing an anniversary collabs and I'm doing 8-12 beers, whatever. I need a Bad Bone collab, like what all the usual suspects. You want to maybe speak to that a little bit and how that kind of like you just became a part of the zeitgeist like that? Like it's very cool. And maybe that's like underplaying some of the work that you've done, but from the outside looking in, I'm just like, oh, the brewery started, everyone's excited about the brewery. Cool, everyone's working with the brewery. And obviously there's more to it than that, because there's a history and there's a work ethic and there's it's not like it came overnight, man. I know that you know these motherfuckers and that these people have come out to work with BreWskey and they might have met you there and then they know what's up, and then same with their like, yeah, maybe just speak to that a little bit, because I just think that's really
Sure.
cool, particularly for a newer brewery. And I think if anyone's watching or listening who owns a newer brewery and is seeing this and just being like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Like, just to maybe get into a little bit of the weeds of how that goes down.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. I mean, you nailed it right there. I mean, at the end of the day, Ryan and I, we have so much, we have a pretty extensive amount of experience in the industry. So, the people that have hit us up and wanted to do collabs, most of these people we've met before. Most of these people are people that have become acquaintances of ours, in one way or the other, over time, over collabs, places, over festivals, over, like the first time we did a collab with with Masorum, it was like I've known those guys for several years. We've seen them at so many different places, and so it's not, for us, it's not like, I know it can seem like it's just like, holy shit, out of the blue, like how do you just start a brewery and do that? But I wouldn't look at it necessarily that way. I think, if anyone was out there thinking of starting something from scratch, I wouldn't tell you to just start a brewery and expect that you're brewing good hazy IPA and that everyone's going to want to do a collaboration with you. I would say that you should kind of take the time to put in work elsewhere. and build yourself from the ground up. You know, I've spent a lot of time visualizing what this brewery would be before I had ever even walked into a brewery. And then I did walk into a brewery and worked for a brewery. And then once you start working for a brewery, you realize that none of that has anything to do with what you actually thought it was going to be. You know, it changes so quickly. So all these things are really important factors that you should consider. It looks like maybe it's some kind of success overnight, but that's not the full picture. It's not the full picture at all. The reality is it's a ridiculous amount of hard work. I guess we could use the term again, hyper focus, to get to where you want to be, and that's how I think any goal you have in your life should be. Is like you find something you want to do, you stare it down in the face, and you don't stop staring it down in its face until you get to where you want to be. And that's could be anything you want to do, whether you're in rehab trying to figure out how to walk again, or whether you're trying to start a brewery. It all comes down to that, to determination, and it doesn't come without fighting, years and years of fighting, and it's still a fight. You know, we talk about how we have like demand and we have things like this, but that's a small part of the picture. Like we exist in a niche part of a large market that is very difficult, with costs of everything rising all the time. It's tough every day, but none of it is a fairy tale story. It's just about doing what you love and being focused on it, and making sure you can focus on it until you get to the other side, and make it into what you want it to be. That's not an easy thing.
It's my fucking guy right there. That's why, for real, that's why I'm working with Bad Bones. Because of that passion, man. Really. No joke. Love it.
Thanks, man. Thanks, bro.
100%.
Everything you said is so beautiful. I want to just point out, and it's something we've never spoken about here, but this is like my girlfriend Tiffany and I, we talk about like visualization. You said, dude, I've been doing, I think I'm at like 2,000 and something days in a row of meditation in a row on this app called Insight Timer. And I do that, and I only fucked up because on March 8th, 2020, I was in Vermont right before the lockdown, and I went to go to Hill Farmstead that day. I forgot to bring my camera and I forgot to meditate, and that fucked my whole streak up. So I'll never forget that. Pissed me off. But it's been many, many years of doing it and visualizing every day. I have this house because we visualize. I have our dog because we visualize the exact dog we want. The business, the car, the exact car to the everything. It's not even that crazy. It's not even a crazy car. Everything is so important, what you just said, and I don't know how many people understand the importance of what you said, Alex. Why I keep calling you Alex Ryan? I'm so sorry, dude. It's because I think of Alex from Wills every time I fucking think. I'm sorry. Ryan was saying exactly the same thing, just echoing that's like, yo, like, that's it, man. Like, it's that dedication to that specific thing. And I never heard, once again, 10 years of doing this, no one's ever said that. No one's ever talked about meditation or visualization or manifestation with regard to that. And maybe it comes across as woo-woo and kind of weird, but it's fucking not, man. It's like, it's so real. It's like activating your subconscious into what you want to achieve and what you want to see in reality. And it's
Absolutely.
it's crazy, and I hadn't really thought of it. I mean, I just do it every day for our stuff. We always, you change the goals to what you want. Like, I usually like to do it in threes. Like, we wanted the house, car, and the dog. Cool. And when we're in Montreal, and we got the house, car, and the dog. And now we've got different things that we want to get. And so you're now meditating on that every single day. And And it's, I don't know, I think it's just so like important, and maybe it's something that isn't discussed in this is just not even about beer or whatever, just like in regular life. I think people think it's weird and like woo woo shit, but it's kind of like it's just not. It's just like alchemists or biochemistry. There's just it's just a thing that's just sort of kind of been proven via all different sorts of science that you just focus on what you want. You can tell your subconscious that that's what reality is, and the subconscious doesn't know the difference. So you just tell it what the reality is, and it can
Yeah,
slowly
I don't
start to
know, man.
manifest it.
I feel like I feel like it's not proven by science, but honestly, you would be so surprised at the amount of like incredible doctors that came up to me, and the first thing they say to me is like, it's all mindset.
Hmm.
I'm like, look, I'm broken here. I got everything is broken. Like my whole body is fucked. Like my wife has to wipe my ass. Like I'm in terrible shape. Like how do I get out of here? And they're like,
Mindset.
things take time to heal. Things take, life has to do this and life has to do that. And at the end, they're like, but your mindset is really going to make the difference. And I'm like, in my head, it's like, what does that even mean? What is that? It sounds, but these are doctors, these are people that their life is science, and it's
Hmm.
huge, man. Mindset is everything. It's everything.
That's so crazy that medical professionals told you that, because typically medical professionals are not associated with that type of thing with mindset. They don't even
Mhm,
talk about nutrition. Like
mhm,
most doctors have no fucking clue about that stuff. So the fact that they're talking to someone like yourself who is in a traumatic accident with all of these injuries and being like, bro, fucking get your head right, is so
mhm.
cool. That means you had some awesome ass doctors working with you and being like, bro, get your head right, let's go, and we'll get this going.
Well, it's like how badly do you want to get out of here? I'm like, really, 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 really badly. And they're like,
So
okay,
like,
well, stick with that. I'm like, well, that doesn't really answer my question, but
what did
but
you? So
it's the
when they
same kind
said
of
that,
shit.
what did you do? What like even just to speak on it, because I don't know if everyone understands the power of this stuff. From someone who had whatever, how what percentage of your body was broken as far as bones?
Oh,
A lot, like
percentage, I
most.
mean, probably 70%.
Jesus, that's insane.
So
So
they would say
you're,
something like, let's say your hand's broken, right?
mhm,
I would ask them like how long until the hand is recovered, right? Like how long until the bones like mend, and that's just science. Like that's just actual like, and they would say, well, typically it takes from this time to this time. And I'd be like, okay. And they would say, but, if you move your finger every day, if you continue to work every single day to try, like if you really try and force it, it could potentially increase the like amount of like blood flow that goes to your hands, and in return increase how fast it's healing. So I do that
mm.
shit on everything. Ankle's broken, move my ankle. Left arm is fucked, try to move my left arm. Everything, all the time. I had all these little exercises that I had that I was just doing all the time, every day. I was just trying to figure out how the best way to try and get uh, heal myself just like a little quicker and get myself out of there.
As you were moving those parts of your body, were you visualizing like moving them fluidly and the best you could possibly make and move them?
No, no, I was more I was more like focused on the minute task of like trying to get
One
this,
thing
like,
at a
because this
time.
this finger's like going that way, right? So you're like trying to like force it as much as you can to get it back to where it once was. That's kind of all I wanted, Everyone, they would always ask me like, "Hey, where do you want to be in a couple months?" And I always found it was a bit of a silly question, because for me it was just that I wanted to be right back to where I was before the accident, which obviously wasn't realistic. I'll never be back to where I was before the accident, but it just seemed like a silly question at the time.
Interesting.
You know?
And you were able to see through it enough to be to like get to the sort of like the question underneath it all, and to be like, okay, you want to be there. They didn't really ask you that, but you're like, I want to be there. So did you have to sort of supersede what they were saying and just be like, I'm gonna work extra hard, excuse
Oh
me,
yeah.
to get my shit to where it needs to be?
Oh sure, man. Sure, I had all kinds. I had people second guessing me the whole time. You know, I had
Hmm.
doctors and rehab people at the rehab that were like, "Oh, you're going to be here for months,"
You're like,
and I was
fuck
like,
you.
"No, that's not an option for me. I will
Hmm.
not."
Did that
And I proved them wrong.
stubbornness, yeah, was that stubbornness key to where you got to?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I
That's
think
beautiful.
I would
That's
have been
so
there
cool.
probably like an extra 8 months to a year if I didn't have that
Jesus,
stubbornness.
that's
Because they
amazing.
don't want to
And
rush you, you know. They don't want you. They don't want you to fuck yourself up either, you know. Like if you're,
oh, totally.
they don't know the kind of person you are when you walk in there. So it's you can walk in and they can just be like, you can be someone who just like, ah, no, you don't understand. Like I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. And they're like, hey, sure, great, sounds good. Work on it. Get back to us. But like for me, it was like and that person can go and do things and then end up hurting themselves, and then that person's
Mm.
back there for even longer, you know, and sets all their shit up for fucks all their shit up for even longer. um so I guess I was just fortunate enough to like not have that kind of thing, so I was just like, for me it was just like beeline as quick as possible as I can get out of here, that's what I want. And so I just like every day just fucking worked my entire head was just on like, I gotta get out, I gotta get out, I gotta get out.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that
not.
carried.
I'm
Was that the
stubborn.
first? I respect it because what? When are you born?
90.
What's your birth? What's your birthday? Sorry.
October 4th, 1990.
Are you? What's a star sign?
Uh,
If you don't know, that doesn't matter then. Okay.
a
Like, cause
Libra.
Libra. Okay.
Libra.
Libra. Ryan loves a Libra. He said he's told me off air. He was like, I fucking love Libras.
Big fan.
Big fan. I know there's some like I'm an Aries. We're stubborn pieces of shit. And there's certain other star signs that are super stubborn. And I was just wondering if that had anything to do with it. Because then if you were stubborn enough in the best possible way to be like, I am getting my fucking ass out of here. How was that something that you had in your life pre-accident? Or did it kick in really when you had, when shit hits the fan, you're like, all right, and then afterwards, then you kept that going, or was there any sort of thoughts on that?
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty. I come from a long line, like a long line of dudes that are very stubborn. In my family, we have very strong stubbornness to us for sure. My dad was a very special guy. He had definitely a strong way about him, strength that you would feed other people would feed off of very easily.
Hmm.
Not something that not the kind of dude that would ever be like, do we go right? Do we go left?
He'd be
He
like,
goes.
"This is what's happening."
He's gone. This is the way that we go, for better or for worse.
My dad was like that too.
Yeah,
Did that?
you got to
Did that?
respect that.
You got to do it for particularly the older cats. Did your
Yeah.
stubbornness kick in when it came to your own project, as far as the way that you handled it? Did all of the, not even just a stubbornness, because whilst I align with that and fuck with that, uh, the other things, the visualization, the like, I want X out of this brewery. Did all of those stubbornness plus like sort of just like your visualizations, your like manifestations, like I want this. Did that? What caused the brewery to happen the way that you wanted to happen?
Well, it was literally when I woke up and I woke up from the coma and it was like go time, you know. It was like
Hmm.
literally
I ain't fucking with this. This is
felt
ridiculous.
time just like quickly ticking away, you know.
Right. Right.
It's a weird thing when you're like, I mean, I wasn't sick, but I felt like I was sick because of all of the
Mm.
things that were wrong with me at that time. Mm, you don't really know what's going to happen next, you know. They're talking about you got blood clots. They're talking like you got brain damage. They're talking like you're never going to walk again because that's in the beginning that's what they were saying. And they're saying all this crazy shit to you, so it's you wake up and you're like you can feel just the clock like ticking down like this
Hmm.
is it, you know, like this is like I'm getting towards the end, and so you're saying to yourself, if this is not the end, then I'm definitely not just gonna go continue what I was doing before. I'm not gonna keep going on the routine. I'm not gonna keep just like doing day to day shit.
Mm.
I'm gonna fucking make it into something, you know. I'm gonna make it
When
into
they
something real, something that I can like hold on to.
hmm. when they tell you some bullshit like you're never gonna walk again, you're blah 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 blah. Like, at what point does it become shut the fuck up, you negative fucks? Like, do you sort of have to get in your own head where you just like, give me some hope, man? What the fuck are you saying? Why are you telling me this shit? You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
nah, nah. Because they told me that. They told me that, and I said no. They said,
No.
"Oh, Mr. Huff, you know, like this leg is, you know, like the what's it called? It's the sorry, a couple of hazy IPAs down, a little bit of brain damage, and here we go. The
Five hazy
nerves
IPAs.
are the nerves are a little bit shot. You're probably not going to be able to bend that foot ever again, so you're not going to be able to properly walk on that." And I was like, I didn't even hear it. I was like, nah. It's like, no,
Do you know what pisses me
nope.
off about that, Zach? Is that like, you are strong. You got through it. You made it all the way through it. What if you're not that strong?
Oh, of
And
course, of course,
and they tell you this shit and you acquiesce to that negativity, and you're
for
just
sure.
like, oh, I can't walk again. Oh well, I guess I'm in a chair now. And then there's somebody
Sure.
who could have had your fucking gumption, but they didn't give them the opportunity because they scared them into being a fucking, what do you call it, what's the thing when you
No,
can't
no, I
walk?
don't. Honestly, I don't think that they were trying to scare me into it or anything.
Not
Honestly, man, I think at the end of the
intentionally,
day,
but
no, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is sometimes the coin flips on one side, and sometimes the coin flips on the other side. And for me, the chances that the coin flipped on the side that I was actually going to get up and walk again was so slim that it made no sense to say to me, like, yo, if you work hard, because you imagine if you do the opposite. Imagine you go to a young guy and you're like, hey, this crazy shit just happened to you, but like, don't worry, like, you're probably going to be all right. And
hmm,
like, then that guy is not all right, you know, like that guy goes to walk on his leg and it's just limp all the time. Like that has more of an implication than if you're straight with the guy like right off the bat. Like I preferred that they said to me, "You're not going to walk again," than if they did the opposite. I much prefer that because for me, from my perspective, what I need is I need someone to tell me
you
that you're
can't do
doing
some shit.
something that is relatively impossible, and then I'm able to do it. Versus if they tell me, yeah, you're good. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? It's good. Like your foot's fine. Why aren't you able to walk? And then I'm not able to walk. That for me is that would fuck me up way more. You know.
That's fantastic context. Interesting. So I'm fuck. This is like such deep psychology.
we took a
With
real
it,
dark turn, man. We're just like in
nah,
straight
I love it. I love
psychology here of a crazy accident. You
but like it plays into the psychology of like just kind of like anything else. And thank you for that honesty, dude. Like I'm very, I guess I'm just like big on like moving towards opportunity and moving towards like optimism, even though sometimes I personally get pessimistic about shit. The end of the day, you're always moving towards something, and if a doctor or a nurse or someone said you can't do shit, I feel like that would fuck with your head. But I see what you're saying, where it's like it's almost playing with the person that you tell that they can't do something. You're like, oh, I can't walk. Watch me, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that's like kind of like part of it as well. And it's and then you play that into the brewery side, like, oh, well, you can't make hazy IPAs as good as these guys. And you're like, oh, watch me. And now you boys are just out here doing this year and change later, fucking dominating the game. It's just, it's kind of fascinating, and it's like it's a fantastic human exercise of just like what people can achieve when pushed to their limits, and when maybe told they can or can't do something, and using their like brains and the broader thing of what it is to make us human without getting too metaphysical, like, is because I'm big on that. There's so much more than what we can do that's hidden from us, that who we are as human beings. And if they told us who we really are, we would take over everything. So they have to keep us down, they have to keep us dampened, and we have to fight through things like what you're talking about to be like, oh, I can walk again, where of course we can heal anything. We are eternal beings. We're all that ever is, ever was, and ever could be. I'm going to pause, and we're going to be right on back. And boom. All right, guys. So to bring that home, we're really just talking about how you got out of everything you got out of, Zach, and then to get into everything you got into here at Bad Bones, and now you've got you two boys working on something, this is really cool to have this pod now, because Ryan, you're only 4 weeks in, you're about to get this lager program going. Like, this is really exciting, even to catch up a year later when things are the same, if not more intense, and trying to keep up with growth and just delivering what people want. And then now you're moving into multiple styles, from the Westies to the Crispies to the Stouts, which have dabbled in literally one of each. And now it's about to be balls deep in lagers that Ryan is going to run and continue with that. Hey?
balls deep.
Balls deep, bro.
He confirms.
Thank you for confirming, Ryan. I appreciate that. I appreciate the balls deep confirming, because I wouldn't want you any other way. And pause. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I think it's just so cool. It's like a great growth of the brewery, of everything that you guys have been doing, of everything that people want to see from you. And I want to catch up next year and just see where all of this has gotten to. It's hearing you two talk about this, I am excited as fuck. How do you guys, like, you guys must be like amped about this? Like, just like, look at what we're about to get into. We're about to expand this program into these crispies that like go so perfectly well with all of these like haze. Like, I felt the next pod we're definitely gonna be crushing some crispies before we get into the haze. It's it just, it makes sense. Like, you guys, how do you guys feel about it all?
I mean, well, obviously, grateful. Grateful is like the first word that comes to my mind from like the start of it. Like, we've been we've been always in a position from day one where we haven't been backed into a corner where we need to figure out what we are going to brew, what we're going to do, what people are going to like, what we're going to make well, what we're not going to make well. Like we've from the get go, we've just been able to start from a point where we know that we're in a direction that we want to continue going in. Obviously, loggers are in the future, definitely trying to produce enough beer so that people hate me a little bit less and that we can supply some of the demand would be very, very good. So that's kind of where we're at next. Um, and yeah, that excites me a lot. We are growing, but we're growing very organically. It's never about growing too much. It's really just about trying to keep the progression and the flow that we're going in now. You know, like every day seem to get more excited about what we're doing. So we're just going to try to keep going off that and keep making sure that at the end of the day, I mean, some people might be hesitant to say this in our industry, but at the end of the day, we are here to make people happy. To get, we're in the business of getting people amped up and excited and want to be a part of the thing that we are doing, and that's what's most important. That's what's most important for us at the end of the day is that we create something that someone is going to crack in whichever scenario. They're going to drink it and they're going to be like, wow, this is exciting. And that's all we want to do. We want to keep that going.
That's awesome, man. Ryan, do you have any final thoughts on that tip as far as the direction of the brewery is going now that, once again, all the context, you've been there 4 weeks. Like, what are you excited about in the future of Bad Bones?
I mean, I'm honestly, man, I'm excited in general. Like, I'm really, I believe in the project. I believe in Bad Bones. I believe in Zack like more than anyone in the brewing industry. And I'm just stoked to be here. I hope I can contribute in a meaningful way. Um, and I really truly believe that the sky's the limit for us. Like I think we can do whatever the hell we want if we play our cards right and we make some smart decisions and we work our asses off. Like I think Zach and I can do whatever we want. Honestly,
I love
Absolutely.
that, dude. And it feels like that's the energy that you guys have really given off this whole pod. Is just, really the connection that you two have together. And I feel like isn't it cool that you guys work together in kind of like this really like beginning important period of both of your careers, and then you kind of like split off for a bit, and then you came back together now in this whole new era where there's no one but you, no one else is calling the shots. Like, you guys are calling the shots and you can do this crazy shit together, and you got this like dope brewing chemistry where you drink the same stuff, you really appreciate the same thing, and you be able to push each other to make things better. Like, that's what the industry needs, and it's really cool to see you both like just like organically have these conversations, and just you could tell you guys are mates from time. And just, I don't know, for me, and looking from the outside in, I'm like, whilst I'm already excited about Bad Bones, and I have been since I first heard of everything that you were doing a year and change ago, this is cool, man, because you guys are about to sort of move into a take the brewery to a different era. It's sick that if it's all haze and you didn't change, and that's fucking amazing, because who doesn't want more fire haze? But to be able to take it to a different level, and to be able to add in the crispies and the stouts and this other kind of direction that's gonna like broaden the breadth of the brand and maybe the reach of what it can be, and hopefully the volume, so that you're able to get be able to help out these distributors in Europe and Australia and different places like that, to be able to deliver your incredible product to people and reaching a bit further, and go from there. It's just it's really exciting at a time when beer hasn't always been exciting, because shit has been scary. And you guys have made it really positioned to be like super exciting, and your contemporaries as well out there killing it. I don't know. This is awesome. I feel like it's really cool having this pod as well towards the end of 2025 when it's mixed emotions with beer, and you guys are just giving straight like positive vibes and just be like, yo, we're fucking doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and it's gonna go beautiful. I don't know. I love it, and I really personally appreciate you both for your candor and your honesty and openness with all of this, man. And you guys are awesome. I'm great to meet you, Ryan, and it's great to see you again, Zach, and to see how much you're thriving, and to watch from afar as well before chatting, and just to see like, fuck, man, I want that beer. Like, just there's never a time when I see a Bad Bones beer and I'm like, oh fuck, I wish I didn't have that. You know, I always want that beer in my face. It's beautiful. It makes me really happy to see you guys thrive and to sort of broaden into all this other stuff. And I just want to see you guys dominate and continue the beautiful things that have happened, particularly out there in Dunham, and you're doing it your own way, and you've done this beautiful, unique thing with Elwire and Dunham, and then you've got your own thing with Matera and the tap room. And man, I'm just so happy for you guys, man. It's a beautiful thing, and congrats for real.
Thanks
more
so much.
Thanks, man.
You guys
Appreciate
are awesome.
that.
For real.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You guys deserve
Thank you.
it. You deserve all the success, and we're here. Please let's do it again next year. And let's keep like tabs on where we're at, and let's keep in touch. Let's what was the ridiculous collab idea we came up with? It was something silly.
I think we were going to use hops from Kazakhstan mixed
with in a ruse, right? In a ruse.
Yeah.
in a ruse with
Okay.
Brewtopia.
I forgot about Brewtopia. So look out for that coming soon. The Bad Boys X Brewtopia X BAOS collab, Roos with Kazakhstani hops, coming very, very soon. You guys are the best. Stick around after. We'll finish up really quickly off air. But where can everybody find Bad Bones online and in real life, boys? Tell us about it.
It's at Bad Bones Beer on
is.
Instagram and Facebook. And besides that, you got to come to 1005C Bruce in Dunham, Quebec. And
come say hi.
Come say hi. We're right by the border to Vermont, and come grab a couple beers.
We're better looking in real life.
I feel like
He's
you're
being
just
honest.
equally as good looking. The street's name Bruce.
Bruce.
That's my deceased father's name. That's my middle name. So I'm extra. Yeah. Shouts to Bruce. And couldn't be a better street name right there. That's fucking gangster right there.
That's the Bruce.
Strong name. Strong name.
Good name.
Fucking let's go. Guys, come by, check them out, follow everybody. Guys, stick around. We'll finish up off air. But Zach, Ryan, boys, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks
for having us, man.
For real.
Man, such a pleasure. Thank you guys for being down to postpone it and have a longer conversation, because I know we were supposed to do this a few weeks ago. You guys are legends. We'll finish up off air. Appreciate you both. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit that notification bell so you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at BOS Podcast. Check out the long form audio, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Give us 5 stars. Not for me, goddammit. For Uncle Zach, for Uncle Ryan, for Bad Bones. That's what it is. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.